The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
Well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host.
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
The Renegade, J.J. Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts.
I am founder. We'll call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
The West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah.
And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies. There you go. It sells
Oh,
itself.
God.
Get in there.
Short his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ. Give it time.
Now, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that
Dumb move. Just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Real Honor does not have to be AEW Live. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. You kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
He is no
longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
Because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen.
I literally touched everybody in the state's trash. So it's horrible, you guys.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine. And
that's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Oh my God! You go there. How to do the friggin' football thing? We ended on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. Then just how the thing goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
We're here.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of the Saturday Night Shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. I, of course, am your host and moderator, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is having a fantastic evening this evening. We've got quite a bit of stuff to get into this evening, so let us waste no time bringing the panel in. First and foremost, the man whose name is on the marquee, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, is in the house, as he traditionally always do. What is going on, good sir? How we doing tonight?
What? I will start. It is 3/16 day, breaking out the old stuff. Find my Stone Cold shirt. I remember where it was. So I got the memo for today. I'm good. I'm happy with myself. But yeah, it's been a long day of travel and luckily sleep, but it is that time. So let's do the things. Doing well, Daniel.
Next person to come in is the voice of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media. He is the simple man with the spectacular voice, Noah Foster.
Hey.
How are we doing this evening, good sir?
I'm tired, but
What?
I'm all right. Good to see
Welcome
you.
to the club.
Right?
I think everybody's got their sleep card punched this evening.
Look,
Yes.
here's what I know. 1, I'm tired. 2,
Yes.
I'm always tired. 3, these next 2 weeks are truly filler, especially next week when there's no wrestling at all because there's no collision. Damn sports. And 4, simply put, these next 2 weeks, I'm going to coast as much of my tiredness I can before putting as much energy I can into what is the longest week of my life. So that being said, good to see y'all, but I'm looking forward to hopefully a nice, simple conversation in a timely manner at the conclusion of 316 Day here on the East Coast. And that's the bottom line because the simple man said so.
There you go. I don't know who's got it worse, us here who are already yawning, or Daniel who's watching Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End while watching Open Mic Night. I mean, at least it's not Dead Man's Chest or whatever the fuck the fourth one was called. Those two are definitely the most boring out of them all.
Yeah,
But,
four's the absolute shits. Dead Man's Chest at least introduced Davy Jones, so it wasn't as bad. Fifth one made up for the fourth one, but not very well. Oof.
Well, the next person we'll bring onto the panel needs no introduction, but he will get one anyway. After all, he is Mr. Reliable.
How's everybody doing? I understood the assignment as well. I'm tired too. I'm right in the same boat, but like I say, like I always say, good to see and be seen. So I'm ready to get into it.
There we go. And the last one, usually they say that they save the best for last, but considering we had no idea that this person was actually going to be here because, you know, he traditionally has better things to do than to join us anymore.
Yeah, you know.
The Meltzer of the multiverse actually managed to find his way back to Open Mic Night.
Fuck
Josh
you.
Mansfield is here.
Jesus.
What is up, Josh?
In my defense, Jeff actually messaged me, and I'll be honest, I'm with the rest of you. I'm exhausted. I had to serve 2 masses today, one being a funeral. I have to get up at 7:30 because I have the 8:30 mass tomorrow, a meeting at noon, then a massive blessing for a church reopening at 3 with the bishop.
What?
Which is actually St. Patrick's Church on St. Patrick's Day.
What?
So, yeah, I'm tired.
Oh. Huh?
He's tired.
Yeah.
Got stuff
Yeah.
to do.
Good to see everyone. Cleveland is official for SummerSlam, and I'm excited because there's a very good chance we might be getting Maddie Laws in Cleveland. Yay!
Okay. Not sure what that has to do with Open Mic Night, but if you're happy, we're happy, I guess.
If he's happy and you know what, say hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No.
Jeff already told Greg he needs to bring a spray bottle as a hose.
Ugh. I'm too tired to listen to
You're
this
going to be in a
shit.
football stadium. You can just borrow one from the Browns.
It's 316 days, so how about the fire hose from the beer truck?
There you go.
There you go.
Works.
I don't know how I'm awake. I've only had one. I've only had a red Mountain Dew, a purple Mountain Dew, a green Mountain Dew. Oy.
Taste the rainbow, fruit flavors.
I don't have the orange Mountain Dew, unfortunately.
Nose looking like a big old can of Fruity Pebbles over there with his Mountain Dew choices.
That's a phrase for it. We love you, Noah.
Yeah, far better than Fruity Pebbles. Fuck that cereal.
Hey. There's nothing wrong with Fruity Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles is better.
Nah.
I was going to say, let me finish, Walter. I always preferred Cocoa Pebbles, but Fruity Pebbles kind of came in a clutch.
Nah, the only fruity cereal that matters is the original Fruit Loops, but I'm a Lucky Charms guy. Anyway, move on.
I'm sure Josh enjoys some Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, hold up. I am a
kidding,
peanut butter
bro.
Captain Crunch and a Reese's Puffs guy. So
Okay, I will give you that. I'm a Reese's guy too, so I will give you that.
I'll give you the peanut butter crunch.
We are not here to discuss cereals.
I mean, that's cereal.
Although we could definitely get into that if people want a super chat for a cereal conversation. We could do that. But
cereal.
We are here to coin a phrase that's never been heard before.
Oh.
Especially here across the multiverse of media.
Yes.
We're here to talk wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that. You remember.
The thing Jeff does.
What's
The
wrestling?
thing Jeff used to do, the thing Jeff won't do again until after WrestleMania weekend.
I mean, he's been doing it for
because-
15 years, whatever.
Because people suck. Anyway, yes, carry on.
So, we've got a couple of good topics to discuss here tonight. Some that could be quite meaty in conversation, others that hopefully will just be, to take a phrase from the man in the middle here, simple.
Yes.
First topic is Darby Allin. It's been reported that he broke his foot 2 minutes into his match against Jay White, and now he's not going to be able to climb Mount Everest. That's going to have to be postponed for a year. While it sucks that Darby is going to have to postpone everything, and nobody truly is at fault, you kind of got to wonder why they would book him for a match against somebody the caliber of a Jay White before going off to do something like this, instead of just doing a backstage injury angle to write him off. You know, we all know Darby's a crazy son mama bitch, but I don't know where the logic was in this booking decision, and we can't even say, you know, WWE and logic, because this is AEW and logic. So
I was gonna say
it's wrestling and logic.
Okay, so it's wrestling in general. It's not just straight to one company.
No. It's just that company's the biggest offender because they're the biggest scope.
Yeah.
They've also been around the longest, so I can give you that. But I don't know. I don't think it was a smart decision to put Darby into this match in the first place. Noah, I'll go to you to start because you are the resident AEW guy. Most of us casually watch it at best. You live and breathe AEW as your stateside company of choice, along with TNA.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this? Should Darby have had the match in the first place? I think is the best place to start here.
I think it all comes down to Darby's physical conditioning, but you could also say the same thing about Orange Cassidy when he always went out week by week to defend his title and his body kept being brutally battered and bruised, but he still fought his heart out. It's one of those things with the wrestlers, the performers, they're their own worst enemy. And I do think, though, based on the recent activities of Darby Allin and what he wanted to do going forward, a bit more discretion should have been put into place for him. But when it comes to Darby Allin, this doesn't feel like anything new for me. Now, the whole broken foot thing, that's a rare injury. I haven't heard of in a while. We've heard of torn ACLs, MCLs. We've heard of a busted shoulder, bad wrist, broken finger. Some people being very pussies about that. But anyway, it's one of those things where Darby Allin had a broken foot going into the ending of the match versus going into the match. It's one of those unforeseen circumstances, I think. I think it comes down to the fact they probably didn't expect for him to screw up his foot. For all we know, there was nothing wrong with his foot. I mean, again, the exploit of the attack, of the focus known of damage, was on the back, especially the lower left-hand side. If his foot was as bad, as brittle as it got shortly in the match, and I'm not even sure what spot might have caused that, then yeah, I probably would have exercised a bit more discretion, but I also think about, again, what did it push? It still found a way to create a narrative that writes Darby Allin off, gives him an enemy to go after when he comes back, and also it pushes Jay White into that direction that people have probably been waiting to see for, a period of time. I think if nothing else, this was a catapult for the catalyst to be pushed forward more in a different direction in AEW versus giving Darby Allin one last showcase. So I think at the end of the day, based on Darby's well-being, if his foot was going bad into it, then I would have said, okay, maybe you hold off on it. If his foot got bad during it, it's just one of those freak accidents. But again, as far as his back goes, I was more worried about his back going in than anything else. The foot, whole different hindsight, especially seeing that x-ray. And the fact that happened during the match again, things happen during matches. So if we're only focused on the foot, I don't mind him going for the match. But again, the fact that his back going in like that was jacked as it was, yeah, I probably would have just been like, Jay White, attack him backstage after he may have said something that instigated you, and then see what happens and still pull off the angle. So, in short, I probably would have gone through with the match knowing Darby Allin's condition. Back alone. The foot, that's just add accessory at this point. Well,
yeah. According to the reports, the injury happened less than 2 minutes into the match. He attempted a front flip off the top rope, and that's when the injury occurred.
Okay, so yeah, it was the.
And then he went through another 10 minutes of the match because of the adrenaline and everything that he was carrying with him.
Right. I mean, again, how tough is a man on one leg? And Jay White, basically, his strategy was, I'm going to focus my attack on the back, and that coffin drops to the apron was Darby Allin's death note as he flew into a Blade Runner. So the fact that the foot was as compromised as it was for as long as it was, mad respect. But I almost feel like if he couldn't, continue. But then again, how much of that match was actually vertical too? So all suspension of disbelief. I think it just comes down to, again, if Darby Allin was trying to walk and the ref noticed he couldn't, yeah, maybe I would have called it. But again, they didn't really focus a lot on his foot. But the fact that he had a broken bone during a match, I immediately give that the X. So again, freak accident during the match. Beforehand, it is what it is as far as how I would have handled it. But during the match, yeah, I probably would have called an audible.
Okay. Josh, we'll go ahead and go to you next. Again, welcome back to the show, good sir.
Thank you, buddy.
You're going to get a bunch of ribbing from us for being gone as long as you were. Deal with it, but
and yeah,
we did
I
miss
did
you,
also
kind of.
hesitate on even coming because how much I have tomorrow, but I figured Jeff sent the link, I'll show up. But so here's the thing, as I like to steal from you. I was very critical of Darby Allin in the tag match with Sting's last match, because I thought that was just ridiculous, completely uncalled for and unnecessary. Darby shouldn't have been competing this close to going to Mount Everest when it's already known that's what he's doing. Like, that's already been said, I'm pretty sure it's been said by the company at this point. Or if it hasn't been, it should be. Really, he should have just relinquished the belt and then just gone off and done that. There didn't need to be any match or angle. Because my guess is that after this match, there would have been an angle had his foot not been broken at the beginning of the dang freaking match. Darby, he likes this style, this hardcore style, but it works and it doesn't for him. Really. It works and it doesn't. You are not Jeff Hardy. Heck, Jeff Hardy isn't even Jeff Hardy anymore.
I was going to say.
You are not Mick Foley. You dang sure are not Matt Cardona. Thank you for shaving Jeff's head. But, Darby, you need to chill with what you're doing. You need to just... And we never want our wrestlers to get injured.
No.
But, Tony, one, you need to stop being a mark for your action figures and let them sit down and chill the flip out. Darby, you need to realize when you need to stop and protect your own self, boy. And now, because of that, you can't climb Everest for another year after all the training you've already done. So in the long run, what does it actually get you? Get well soon, but seriously rethink some things. Woo, woo, woo.
Well, by Darby's own admittance, he said that he's only practiced for about 6 months for this climb. So technically, this could be a really good thing for him because he'll get a little bit more time to practice once he heals up.
When was he officially due to climb it?
March 27th.
And he's only been practicing for
he cut a promo.
Darby.
He cut a promo last week saying that this match this week against Jay White very well could be his last match
Ever.
because people don't survive Mount Everest. And he knew that that was a very realistic possibility going into it. So he cut a promo addressing the crowd. So, yes, people knew because Tony Khan had to give him the time off to go do it.
Right.
And he announced live on Dynamite that he was leaving on March 27th to go do this. So,
Okay.
it was definitely public knowledge that he was going to be, you know, in the not so distant future.
I figured it was. I just haven't paid much
And if
attention.
memory
to
also
AEW.
serves me correctly, he said something about it at the Revolution Scrum.
Yep.
Okay. To be fair, I haven't paid much attention to AEW. I turned on to watch Mercedes and I turned it off right after.
So did everybody
You're
else.
not the only person. That's coming in the main event.
Don't get ahead of us on the plot, Mansfield.
I won't even be here for the main event, so sure.
I know that.
But yeah, so that's all I got.
Again, fucking Josh is spoiling shit for later.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Josh.
I guess he sticks to his stick.
But
love you too, Walter.
Oh, it's gonna be a night, kid.
That's all I gotta say, honestly.
Okay,
Just
Walter, go to you next, and then we'll wrap things off on this one with the man whose name's on the marquee.
All right.
Really quickly, we did get a super chat from Marshall for $2. Thank you, Marshall. An ape can write AEW better than Tony Khan.
I don't know about that.
Stop him
We
when
did
he
get
comes
another
live.
super chat for $5, but it's
saw it.
more directed towards Jeff personally. So
yes,
thank you, Marshall, for that super chat. But since it's more of a personal thing, we'll just let Jeff message you directly about that.
Yep. And I told him I would when I was able to, and he, yeah. So anyway.
All right. Well, first to address Pepper, I guess. Pepper. You know, I did that once for free last week. You want to see it again? Anybody wants to see that kind of intro? You got to pay up, do a super chat, but not
right.
to the channel. Let's do the PayPal for JJ and get him
Whoa.
DNA. It's done.
That's not happening no more. That
Oh, is
announcement was going to come later.
We'll talk about that later. So
Then
please
do
super
it to
chat
the
us.
channel. Yeah. Any
Super chat,
channel-
super chat,
any
super
super
chat.
chat to any of the channels that are monetized here, and then I'll do it. I do got the microphone here, so I just got to set it up to come from the ceiling. But yeah, anybody want to see that?
Now who's
But
now who's
Go ahead,
spoiling
Joe.
things, Walter?
I didn't know. But now I stole your stick. Anyways, in terms of Darby, if you were gonna do this and you wanted like an injury angle to write him out, you should have just did like an in backstage or in ring segment with Renee where they're just asking him how his back is, and then Jay White beats him down and you run an injury angle. You shouldn't have put him in an whole entire match because you know you would have risked something. But freak accidents happen. I'm not very religious, but some things happen for a reason, and this could be a blessing in disguise because not many people, as people said, survived Mount Everest. So maybe this injury just saved your life, Darby, and you don't even know it. Sometimes you just don't know what's behind you or what's in front of you. Things just happen. I don't know if you guys saw there's a video of a lady just skiing and singing along, being happy, and there's a bear behind her and she doesn't even know it, and it's chasing her down. So things that you're oblivious to, you just don't know what you're being protected from by outer sources or powers or deities or whatever you believe in. But
Divine intervention is a thing.
It is. So we never know. But yeah, that's how I would have put that. I would have had him beat down if you were going to do that in the back or something. But you know, freak accidents happen. I was there live, and I actually didn't even see. I must have been adrenaline because I didn't even see him react when he hurt his foot or limp, or I didn't see any of that. And I was pretty damn close on the floor. So I mean, I saw him take like a breather for a second on the post there, not the post, but the stairs there, and then they did the whole when he got thrown and flipped over it. But he kept going, and like you said, Josh, you ain't Jeff Hardy, you ain't all these people, but I mean, it's his style. I hope everything's okay, but the foot can be a blessing in disguise. You just never know. And maybe when things tell you, when something's telling you not to do something, it's telling you not to do something. So maybe this is telling you don't climb Mount Everest. Like, for example, I'll give an example of my personal life. My friend was on the way over to my house to show me how to ride a motorcycle, and he had a bad accident on the way to my house. And I took that as a sign that don't get your ass on motorcycles. So, and I never got on a motorcycle again. So things happen for a reason. So, I mean, that's it for that.
He can look back on it eventually one day and just say, what can I say except you're welcome?
Exactly.
Damn it, Josh. Just like Rock will say when he hands the belt over to Cody's mama.
Yeah, the WWE title.
All right, boss man. Go ahead and bring us home.
So, Walter, you said you were there live and it looked like he was on adrenaline. So you're saying adrenaline in his soul after he referenced Cody Rhodes. Anyway, okay.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Gotta get that part in there.
Have to, especially since you don't have to worry about getting the side eye from across the room this time. All right. So, was there logic in Tony Khan booking Darby Allin, knowing he's going to Everest and knowing he really doesn't have to do anything right now after coming down from the Sting thing? Yes, he booked somebody who he's paying to be on TV to wrestle. Wow. Choosing to climb Mount Everest versus going to work and doing your job are two different things. So he's not going to go on Everest. That sucks for the kid. Does. But again, like Walter said, man, certain things just have a way of telling you, slow down. It's okay. The mountain's still there. Unless the global erosion of everything accelerates like a mucker feather in a year, it'll be that's fucked up, Sam. It'll be okay. Everest will still be there. Hell, get your foot better, go to Disney World and go ride Expedition Everest. Probably cost you more to do Disney World than actually climb Everest, though, to be fair at this point. I know it's a hell lot of money to climb the mountain, but they charge you through the ass for that because you probably die. So, I liked the idea of Darby and Jay White. I was intrigued. I'm a fan of both guys. But was there a need for it as a self-contained thing? No. Did it serve the purpose of breaking up the completely nonsensical 6-person team with the Acclaimed and Billy and the Bullet Club? Yeah, it did, and I was okay with that. Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Couldn't think of a name right now. I'm okay with that.
Scissor Gang.
I did too, but it seemed like it was going exactly nowhere fast. It was already stalling, and it's not even a month old. Like,
you're going nowhere when you're stuck in a 12-man tag with Jeff Jarrett and the Oddities.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, there is. How long we got?
Apparently, a dog agrees with you, JJ.
Josh, wait to be called on.
That's right. Yes. Sit down there with your head down and think about what you did. You're on timeout. Anyway, I feel bad for Darby as a person because I know he really wanted to do that, but as a paid professional wrestler / sports entertainer, I look at things much more business-like than I used to, I guess. Like, for me, as a fan, cool, that would have been cool to hear a story, but as a business, like as a evaluator of the business, I'm like, well, that means he's off TV for a while now because he can't wrestle, and he's not going to be, in a good frame of mind because he won't do what he wants. So it's a double oh shit. It's unfortunate that it happened, but I'm not surprised because Darby's style is what it is. And to Noah's point, his back was in no condition to walk across the fucking street, let alone climb a mountain.
To our knowledge.
Well,
for all we know, because aside from the stitches he had to have from the glass and the blood being drawn, his back was fine.
Yes. I'm just going off visual.
Nothing was reported about cracked vertebrae or anything. So it was just an ouchie that got stitched up, and he was good to go.
Visual cues, JJ. Visual cues.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going off what I saw visually, and also, I've never climbed a mountain. I'm not going to climb a mountain. I enjoy my sanity and my physical health being as intact as it is now. I mean, it's not very good, but at least I'm not on a fucking mountain dying. It's cold in Asia.
The only mountain I am going up in any form is jumping into the Matterhorn bobsleds and going as high as that track takes you before bringing you back down the other side.
And I think even that would my back up more than climbing Mount Everest at this point. So
that's fair.
That. So
I don't think.
And then there's Thunder Mountain and Space Mountain.
Yeah, Thunder Mountain's always been evil to me as a Matterhorn. Space Mountain, I have regrets about not being able to ride anymore, but that's a whole other show.
I mean, the actual.
We know, Noah. We know.
It's cold.
We got commentary going over Noah.
Yeah. It's cold in Asia. It's cold at Mount Everest. Even with the stitches, it's going to hurt. So probably better he doesn't do that.
We did get another super chat from Marshall for $5. Thank you. Will Darby stay in wrestling instead of going to climb Everest now that he broke his foot? I mean, once he gets done with his injury, yeah, he'll go back to wrestling until next year, I would assume.
Yeah, like he was never going to leave wrestling in the first place.
Yeah, he was just going to take a vacation, if you will,
to
go and do this crazy stunt and pray to God he survived.
Yeah, he was just going to take a break on account of insanity rather than trying to clear his sanity. So that's what's happening, Marshall. But thank you for the continued super chat. It is appreciated.
Aw.
Ooh, there we go.
$25 super chat from Arlene says, just because super chat. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Those are the best kind.
Always
he doesn't even want Noah to do anything for that one. It's just a just because one.
That's sweet. Josh, you keep it up. We're going to make you the singing trained monkey here before you leave.
You forget you like it, though.
You know it.
That's fair. That's accurate.
Yes, Walter, I see your hand up. What's up? Thank you for raising your hand and waiting to be called upon.
Yeah, I'm just teaching Josh.
Here's another $25 just because super chat.
Wow.
That one goes for you, sir.
I see that. Yeah, it's cool. It tells me the difference because the one for you is lit up because she's a subscriber of the member stuff. That's awesome.
I was just gonna say climbing Mount Everest is bad enough, but he was gonna choose March. Like, dude, at least do it in the summer or some warmer month. Like,
seriously.
Well, isn't it below the equator, which would make it summer there right now?
No, it's above the equator. It's in Asia. Yeah, it's above the equator.
Okay.
It's past the prime meridian.
It's near Nepal, right? It's like near Nepal and.
I'll tell you where it is. It's about 35 miles east of Dudley Vale out there in Wadey fuck.
Get a geography
some other country
here. Then educate the people.
That's right. 26.2 miles outside of Parthenon. Oh wait, no, that's one of our super chatters. Never mind. Go ahead.
All right.
Tibet. That's the other country. It's between Nepal and Tibet.
Yes.
I couldn't think of it.
I'm still right saying it's out there in Wadey fuck.
All right.
Anyway.
So that's going to about wrap that topic up.
Yes.
We will go ahead and take a quick commercial break.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Show everybody all the upcoming specials that'll be coming up here on Open Mic Night, kicking off with wrestling karaoke at the end of the month and going all the way through Christmas, as we have every month booked so far. It's not Noah's favorite trailer, but you got to make him wait for that one. So we will be right back.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
all the scening, all the scening, all the scening, all the scening, and game nights too.
And it starts on the 30th with the man call Sting from Noah Foster.
Noah,
I'm
are
here.
you there, bro?
I'm
You
here.
there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Bro, you good, bro? Bro.
Hey, you know what? No, you're not allowed to use that. Do your homework first.
Which one?
Go do your homework, bro.
Which homework this time?
Earn some extra credit. I don't know.
All right. So, next topic we're going to discuss is one that I am definitely going to try to lay out of because I really don't want to go the fuck off because my woman already went to bed for the night.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, I know what this one is then.
Candace LeRae.
Oh, shit.
And Maxxine Dupri.
There it is. Knew it.
So apparently, WWE thought it would be a bright idea to turn the real life reaction that Maxxine got at a house show into a storyline with the poison pixie at the center of it being the instigator. Now, if this had happened, because I want to say this incident with Maxxine happened 2 weeks ago. And then this happened this week on Raw. So if it had happened like the week after, I don't know how I would have felt, if I would have felt better or worse, because it would have been more topical. You know what I mean? Like it would have been right on the heels of it.
Right.
Trying to capitalize on it.
Sure.
My issue with it happening, aside from the fact that Candace went and referenced Maxxine's deceased brother, which we'll get to momentarily, was the fact that Maxxine was actually putting on a fucking good match.
Right.
Like there weren't any botches on her end. Like she was clean. I'm sitting here watching the match and I'm like, damn, girl, okay, you've hit the PC. You've done some work these last couple weeks to try to get the fans to not hate on you so much. I'm not seeing a whole lot of fuck ups here. This is a good match. Yeah, I'm sure you could give some to Candace and Indy for helping make her look good. Because it takes two to tango.
Yes.
But at the same time, like Maxxine was looking solid in the ring. And then she goes to hit the reverse caterpillar, which definitely takes some fucking skill. It's impressive enough when Otis does it normally, but for her to do it backwards.
Yeah.
And then Candace pulls the trigger here.
Yeah.
So, like, if Maxxine was fucking up in the match, I would have understood it. But Maxxine wasn't fucking up in the match.
No.
And then came the thing with the dead brother. And at first I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, it's just a Max Dupri reference. That's what I thought at first, because I had no idea in real life she had a brother.
Mm.
But then the report comes out that her real life brother was killed in a car accident. You know, he has seizures and he had a condition I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I know I'm going to fuck it up, but a condition that kind of like paralyzed part of his body. So he needed to use like Lyft and Uber and stuff to get around. He couldn't get around on his own. And one night his driver pulled onto a freeway and they got taken out by a truck. So the fact that they brought this part into it as well,
yeah,
I just feel is low. And again, maybe I'd feel different about it if it wasn't somebody I already know from personal experience as a raging cunt.
Jesus.
But that's just me. So I want to go around the room, see what everybody else thinks about this angle. Because at the end of the day, it's a storyline. So we shouldn't let it affect us that much. But was it really necessary for them to turn this house show experience into an angle? And I'm seeing a lot of people online going, well, if you support Christian for what he says on a weekly basis on AEW television about people's dead fathers, then this shouldn't bother you. I feel like it's slightly different. I'm not sure how to really justify it. A deceased relative is a deceased relative is a deceased relative. But I do feel like they're slightly different. I'm going to go with you first, boss man, to start us off on this one.
Again, both of our perspectives are going to be different because of the nature of Candace being involved, because we both feel how we feel about Candace. But look, wrestling, at least in my fandom experience, which is just past 33 years, has always touched on real emotion. The whole thing with Slaughter in 91, and touching on the real life feelings and issues with the United States' involvement in the Persian Gulf. I mean, that was none of our friggin' business, and there we were. And then our boys and girls were really dying over there, and Slaughter's cutting these promos, and it was very charged, and it's always been like that. I saw the chat room mention the whole Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Randy Orton feud after Eddie. There you go, Eddie passed, and that one set me into an orbit for sure. I didn't like that one. I'm not a fan of it, but I also don't necessarily have a problem with it if it's used the right way and if the talent is okay with it. Here again, we need to remember that as far as we understand it, these talents are saying it's okay to use this story because it's a real life, it's real emotion, and they can tap into it. At the end of the day, these folks are performers. It's method acting. That's really what it comes down to as far as stuff like this. As far as turning the house show thing into a television angle, again, they got to get ahead of it. It's out there. It's been touched upon by the talent. Whether we feel right or wrong about Rhea and Zelina, everybody, coming to Maxxine's defense, that's their friend. That's their road buddy. So I don't have an issue with it. It's because the company feels they need to get ahead of it. So they'd rather just use it to, further Maxxine's character development. And then when we see that her in-ring is improving, as you mentioned, JJ, then it should be worth it. And again, I can say that sitting here in my studio at 20 to 9 on a Saturday night in my freaking PJ shorts and my Stone Cold shirt, because I ain't in it. If I was there and they involved, there was a story where they asked so you talk about one of my family members passing. I'd probably say no, first of all, because I ain't tapping into that. Doing enough of that shit here. So it really depends on the person. I think as long as the performer is okay with it, it shouldn't be this much of a ramped up mindset. That is the problem with the internet wrestling community. Everybody's either 100% right or 100% wrong. People want gray area for their storylines, but they don't want to stay in the gray area for their opinions on those storylines once they get them. Hypocrisy, as we say today.
That's fair, and I understand what you're saying to a point, but why not then save that trigger to pull if Maxxine is putting on a shit match?
to make Candace.
If she's actually putting on a good match, why would you pull that trigger?
Just to make Candace look more shitty, which I know you're not a problem with, because
but now it puts Indy in limbo because she's supposed to be Candace's partner, and she's standing there like, the fuck is going on here?
I personally think Indy being with Candace is hindering Indy. Like, if they're not going to actually actively have them be a contender for the women's tag titles, then let Indy go back and do her singles thing and get another opportunity, even if it's in NXT. You know, have her go back after that championship again. Like, I have been a fan of Candace's in-ring work for a long time. And I was tickled when she got hired by WWE. I still have the figure somewhere in this pile of shit in this house. But they have not done near enough of what they could do with her or her husband, if we're being honest. So I feel like if they're not going to go put the throttle down with them as a team, then yeah, use this to make Indy go, you're being a bitch. I'm good. And again, Ivy's also involved in this, and it's like they had that 32-second push for the Creeds and her, and then now what? Just another three people called NXT.
The Creeds have got that shot this coming week to go into the ladder match at WrestleMania.
Oh, are they in a qualifier? Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay. I mean, good on them, but again, what did they do with Ivy? If, you know, again, they have a team, but if Ivy's defending Maxxine and then Indy's torn, then, you know, there's so many things that they could have done better, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't disagree with what you are saying, but it just feels, other than the fact that they're giving Maxxine something to focus on, turning a negative into a positive, and they're pulling that because Candace is an effective heel when they allow her to be. It's just like, I think she's got the appeal of most fans, and I'm saying most for obvious reasons, where they have to do something like this to make people legit hate her, because they don't have the personal connection, negative though it may be, that you or I do to her. And all, you know, she's Johnny Gargano's wife, and she's, you know, she's this little spitfire, and if you want to cheer for her, it's like, you know what? She's kind of being a bitch. So I want to cheer for her. She's going to be like this. And exactly. Nobody in that scenario is going anywhere except Maxxine, it feels like to me. So if they're going to use this whole thing to set up more than just Maxxine getting a further push, then cool. Otherwise, it does feel like it's going to feel flat at the end of the day. It was very convoluted response. I apologize, but it's, you know. I'm kind of lost in my feels about it, I guess.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, it's there's so many different things. Like, I'm happy for Maxxine.
Me and you have always been on a divisive side when it comes to her.
With Candace, yes, absolutely. So I would be okay with her getting a renewed something. Push, you know, heel turn, face turn, whatever. But I know the company. I know that. I don't think it's going to last. It's not going to be long term. And I think it's only going to be used to further Maxxine, which I'm not opposed to. I think Maxine's got that appeal. She just has to fine tune the in-ring work stuff. But to your point, she looked pretty good on Monday.
Yeah.
So
I think that's my main problem with it, is that it happened in a match that was going well.
Right.
You know, for about the fifth time, I think I've said she was putting on a good match. To the question in the room, was she putting on a good match? I think I've been said about half a dozen times.
Well, okay.
She was putting on a good match. So
I think he's phrasing
no sense to me.
He's phrasing it like that because it's, you know, you can't see the context. Was she putting on a good match? Like, like one of those, like, was she really though? But no context in text, unfortunately. That's why I hate the inability to have that kind of response in the room.
Walter, go ahead. You're up, sir.
All right, yeah, I'm a little mixed too because of. All right, if the talent signed off on using this as a story, I get it. So all right, let's do the story, but it just don't make sense. What you should have did was have her look sloppy in like 3 or 4 matches in a row. Then you can see Candace backstage getting frustrated. You have Johnny Gargano consoling her, or other people consoling her. Like, these things take time. Maybe show her better ropes, and you can see the talent talking about, hey, all we got to do is train her, work with her, and she'll get better. And then when she has too many sloppy matches in a row, then you pull Candace doing this and going heel, and then it actually makes sense. But like we always say, logic, wrestling, and sense are just 3 words that don't go together. So like that would have made a hell of a lot more sense if you would have slowly saw Candace snap. Because now her husband's one of the biggest baby faces in the company, and now she's separate. So what do? Now they can't be on TV together. Last year towards the end, they reformed the group with everybody, and then now that went nowhere. And then it's just all a bundle of like shit right now. It's like we're gonna do this. No, we're not. We're gonna do this. No, we're not. It's like a lot of indecisiveness going on. And just they pulled the trigger kind of too quick on this. Like JJ kept saying it, like she was having a good match, so it doesn't make sense. What you do is you have her watch some stuff on purpose, have her have some sloppy stuff 2-3 weeks in a row, leading. Even if you want to do like WrestleMania as well, a month, do it a few times, and then lead it to the pre-show of WrestleMania. Do something like that, and then that's the reason these two are going to go at it, because they messed it up. I mean, it kind of writes itself, but you just went and turned it. It just, one week I'm a face, one week I'm a heel with no story in it. You talk about Cody finishes the story. How about you begin the damn story with Candace? Can you like begin the story? Can we not just jump in the middle of the story? Like, it makes no sense.
That's valid.
To Walter's point, I think what I would have done, and this kind of goes back to the last topic with Darby to a certain degree, is I think what I would have done is I would have had Maxxine hit a move and scripted to where it looked like she injured Indy. Then you've given Candace carte blanche to be upset because, you botched a move and now you've injured my tag team partner. Now you've given it some story.
There you go. Especially
and then next week it could be Candace versus Maxxine, and that's where you pull the trigger.
Boom. Exactly. It's just rushed.
It is rushed. Very much so.
All right. Noah discussing WWE wrestling, that he was
Women's
told
wrestling.
he had to go and look at this segment so he knew what we were talking about. Go ahead, bruv.
I keep hearing story and I'm almost ready to fall asleep again. What? Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Story time, putting Noah and Mimi's.
Discriminatory inclusion into sports entertainment, IKEA women's tag teams not building single stars, right? Okay. Well, here's the thing. You tried 4 times to reinvent the wheel from a triangle to a hexagon to a diamond, and you still got jack shit. So what are you going to do? You're going to finally try and create single stars with a crazy concept. As convoluted as it sounds, if it means that Eddie Hartwell goes single, Candace LeRae goes single, you build a heel that's not named Nia Jax. You build 2 new original faces long-term in Ivy Nile. That could be something if she's pushed the right way as a singles. And you actually try and build stuff out of Maxxine Dupri, then I'm all for it. Execution poor, can't rewrite what's already been started. So now you got to go the rocky road that you created. So bottom line, if the talent's okay with it, I'm just going to keep going along with it. Highlights on my quiet time at work, unless it's brought up for open mic night. So hopefully it means that they actually create actual new superstars to actually contend for maybe the main championship. versus IKEA throwing together teams for these women tag titles that still mean jack shit, that already had the opportunity and went absolutely nowhere. I would love to see Indy Hartwell leave Candace LeRae, go her own way, do things her own way, impress us, and maybe go back down and get the title she never lost. Just saying. How's that for some storytelling shit for you? And also, of course, Maxxine Dupri, incredible upside. I will never deny anybody that wants to further their potential in something that they become to know and love. Hell, I didn't know who the hell Maxxine was before I heard about her being part of Alpha Academy and having some actual athletic capabilities in the ring, because that's what I care about, what you do in the four-sided circle, the honorable grounds that define why I should care about you in this product, not freaking acting in a movie script. So that being said, if you're trying to already use something in the public eye towards your own gain, that's WWE. That's nothing new for me. This company doesn't know logic and common sense if it bit in the back ass from a chat DBT app. So, yeah. As far as Candace LeRae, again, highly underrated. If this takes her a different way, where maybe we don't worry about her being husband, wife together, looking the same light, then I'm okay with it, because as far as I'm concerned, they're going to do the John Gargano Tommaso Ciampa thing as long as they can. At least that's legitimate tag that could go somewhere. So, yeah, as far as the execution goes, it's poor, but also black and white doesn't exist in this world. But here, Jeff, I'll help you. As far as I'm concerned, again, what you read is what you read. Text is text. It is truly as simple as that. The IWC is the best and the worst thing. It all depends on how you deal with it. You want to know how I deal with it? Okay, let me show you something. This is Technology 101. Hi, my name is Noah Foster. I work in IT for 13 years. There's this thing in your hand called a smartphone. It's also known as a pocket computer. There's a thing on it called a power button. There's also a function in apps called mute. You should try it sometimes. That way you actually, judge something on your own behalf, or maybe you actually FaceTime somebody and talk with somebody like a real person versus maybe talking to somebody from Singapore. For all you know, that could be a robot waiting to hack your credit card. So anyway, that's your tech lesson of the day. So yeah, hopefully it means better things for all four women. Execution was poor, but hey, they started. Now they got to keep going with it.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah, the things.
Well, let me just take a moment while I can to thank everybody out there that's tuned in.
Yay.
Over 30 people watching right now on everything we're streaming over. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, the whole nine. So thank you very much to everybody out there that's tuning in.
Always appreciate it.
I do want to point out Arlene's comment, just because, she did throw $50 combined our way.
Yeah.
Arlene, Candace doing what she did on Raw is Candace being Candace.
I was going to say.
That is the real person. The person you've seen on TV the last few weeks, the Poison Pixie, all goody, yeah, that's an act. What you saw getting in the face of Maxxine, that's the real person.
At least in our experience.
Someone with experience.
Yes.
So, that being said, that is the end of topic number 2. We're moving this pretty quickly. We had 4 topics. We've got 2 done in an hour.
Yay.
Yes. Yay.
Going to take a little bit of a longer commercial this time.
Ah.
We'll show James's trailer for his Uncle Gary Hebert.
There you go.
Give everybody an opportunity to run to the potty, get some drinks if you need to, refill those Stone Cold beers or your Mountain Dews. And we will be right back.
What?
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that, that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And You know, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
I can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better, or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out, separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
And we're back.
All the Gary, and the documentary coming soon.
So, got an interesting question from Emmanuel during the commercial, and I figure we'll throw it up here and let everybody kind of vote on it. And Noah too, even though we all know the karaoke shows aren't particularly his bag, we know that he did have fun with the wrestling one last year. Do theme songs for pay-per-views count? What do you guys think? Should I put a spot on the wheel for pay-per-view theme?
There have been some pretty good pay-per-view themes over the years that have been used from other artists. I don't see why that should be a problem.
I mean, pay-per-views at one point had meaning with a theme and an actual song of character, not your random new age pop culture one-hit wonder for a freaking
Here we go.
So,
I mean, if we do pay-per-view theme songs, then we can use My Way from Limp Bizkit.
I was gonna say what maybe we should do is, because of the time of the year, WrestleMania themes, because there's enough of those just to have a wheel by itself.
That's fair. Yeah. And only
And
5 of them right now piss me off.
And I happen to have a playlist. If you would like me to send that your way, JJ, once we're off the air here, because that way you can have that we know what's up.
Post it in the commentators and open mic thing. That way everybody has access to it.
Beautiful, Don. I will do that for you. I promise this.
I mean, then maybe we can get Noah to sing Crack Addict, which is the song we use for the watch along trailers.
Yes.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna take hold on. Joining us for the next topic here. Teleporting into the command center via the Morphin Grid, it is Datilla.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Sorry I'm late.
I'm tired, but nice to see you.
That's the greatest thing ever. You had a little beep beep. That's so funny.
Yeah, right.
I like that you added the little beep.
That's
I love it too.
That's good shit.
The wrist
Creative.
communicator.
That's
Yes.
it.
Not
Perfect.
Kim Possible. Not to be confused with Kim Possible.
No.
Hey, you know what though? All love for Kim Possible though. That was a hell of a damn good Disney Channel show.
I mean, that was one of the last Disney Channel shows of relevancy.
Damn.
Completely off topic,
Hey,
Jay.
Daniel.
I saw. I mean, he's not wrong. I saw Christy Carlson Romano on the Disney 100 special they aired last year. It's like, man, that show was a long time ago because she's not looking like Impossible no more. She still looks great, but I mean, we've all aged in our own way. She's aged gracefully. I've aged like milk. You know, so
I just had a moment here when you said a long, long time ago, and I went the whole in a galaxy far, far away. Weird Al karaoke nights.
Oh, dude, find it a free month. We will do that shit.
It may have to wait till next year because this
That's
year's
fine.
already booked. But Weird Al karaoke month, fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, you know Natalie Beyond that like flies on shit. Oh my god.
I would be too. You know
I
me.
think even Noah would like Weird Al karaoke because I'm
Hell
sure
yeah,
he
dude.
knows him some Weird Al songs.
Hell yeah, man.
I know too.
He's incredulous. Like, oh my god, what are we doing?
Noah is tired.
He is tired. We all tired though.
Are you tired, run down, listless? Do you poop out at parties?
Are you unpopular?
Well, the answer to all your problems is in this little
little
bottle.
bottle.
I'm
A little
Peter
bottle.
Benjamin.
Spider, Mita, Benjamin.
What?
That's a classic. That is a classic.
No, it's like I have checked the fuck out from this shit at this point. I have no idea what these morons are doing.
He's tired. What? He's restless. What? Lack of sleep.
What?
I still think
Hey,
we
wants
need
to
to
go
do
to
a
bed.
TV show theme night.
I've got the
Power Rangers
graphic.
should be in there
I've got the graphic. We just gotta book the date.
next year. Anyways, okay. So topic number 3, Dattila, you
Yes.
came in about halfway through the show. We've already gotten the first 2 topics out of the way.
What were the first two again?
The first one was about Darby Allin breaking his foot ahead of the Mount Everest climb and having to postpone that now. And then we just got done discussing the Candace Maxxine segment from Raw and how they're turning that into a storyline and everything.
Oh, okay.
So next up, we're going to give flowers to and discuss the newest inductees into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Muhammad Ali and Thunderbolt Patterson were announced this week. I gotta say, Muhammad Ali, I'm kind of surprised wasn't already in there.
Yes.
For the celebrity wing person, I think that makes perfect sense. I don't think any of us will object to Muhammad Ali going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Nope.
Again, if it's not Cindy, cool.
Yeah. Thunderbolt Patterson is one that definitely caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had no idea who he was until I started reading the reports and how important he was into framing the character and the promo style, specifically of one American Dream, That's the Road, baby. So it's definitely an out of left field choice, but an interesting one. What does everybody think of the latest announcements for the Hall of Fame? Do we think there's going to be at least one more announcement? I'm a little surprised there wasn't one on Friday, but maybe they're saving the last one for Monday ahead of Raw. Dattila, since you just joined us, we'll let you go first. Ladies first here.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I was surprised at Muhammad Ali because I was like, wait, he's not in yet? He's not in the Hall of Fame yet? So I was like, that really took me by surprise because I figured he'd be in the Hall of Fame by now, but I guess he's not. But hey, you know what? I don't mind him going in. Great choice. And Thunderbolt Patterson, I kind of like you, JJ. I didn't know who that was. I had never heard of him. So that kind of seemed surprising to me. Like, who is this?
Right. What about do you think we're going to get one more person in, or do you think they'll leave the class the way it is?
I could see maybe getting one more person.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that if they don't announce it on Raw, then there probably won't be any more. I feel like Monday would be the cutoff. That way they've got the next couple weeks to like really promote everybody.
Yeah, I think you're right, because like after this Monday, there's only like what 2 weeks left before WrestleMania, so
Yeah.
they don't announce someone like that. That's it.
Okay. Noah, what are your thoughts, good sir?
I gotta admit, kind of surprised that Muhammad Ali is not involved in it yet. Of all the people we're talking about, celebrity and non-celebrity, male and female, not in there. Ali was not named that we conceived. So interesting and definitely deserving. I mean, again, he was literally part of the very first WrestleMania. He is an icon of the combat sports world and the entertainment world. So definitely well deserved. The other one definitely caught me off guard. And again, I'm always one to honor history and legacy, but the name and to your point, JJ, his offering and reflection through others' promo skills, including one American Dream, it feels like almost you would think this type of individual will be in the Legacy Hall of Fame that they just burr through during the night. But again, I look at the Hall of Fame class. We look at the influences here. You have Joshi, you have the innovator of Extreme, the father of it, Paul Heyman. And then you have somebody that goes back to, honestly, an influence of the Rhodes family. For all we know about this guy, we probably wouldn't have the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, presentation, personality, influences as we know him, which have, of course, transcended down to his sons in Dustin and Cody Rhodes. I think there's a connection here with the Hall of Fame that we're really kind of maybe not taking into consideration, considering Bull Nakano, huge influence for women's wrestling, especially in the Japanese side of things. And Io Shirai, of course, daughter of Stardom, is also, of course, involved in this year's WrestleMania. I think each Hall of Fame induction has massive reflection based on where WWE is right now and what they're pushing, who they've pushed, and what they're trying to really reflect in honoring 40 years of WrestleMania. As far as additional inductees, let's look at it, shall we? We have tag, we have male, we have female, we have headliner, and we have a legacy, and we have deceased, and we have celebrity. The only other one they have at this point is not even an inductee. It's the Warrior Award, if that's still a thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if that is this week or literally the week before. So I think that's the last one we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get any more because, again, the Hall of Fame ceremony is after SmackDown in front of a tired SmackDown audience after 2 hours of ... And then, of course, you have everybody coming out for the red robe thing. They take an hour to take a seat, and then you got to sit for another 2.5 to 3 hours to listen to these speeches all the way into Saturday morning, where 90% of these people are going to be literally trying to get to their hotel room. Good luck catching those Ubers and getting in traffic out of the way. And then freaking going out of their house to either check out NXT Stand and Deliver or prepare to be in line 4 hours ahead of WrestleMania just to get to their seat. So, yeah, I think they're only going to announce the Warrior Awards event, and that's it. But I respect both these inductees, and honestly, I respect this whole class so far. This class, to me, feels very on point with the setting and the circumstances surrounding WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. It's good stuff.
I definitely think it's interesting that we've got somebody that influenced the Rhodes family going in. To Dwayne's point, and I already threw it up on the screen, but there's been some grumblings about Leah Maivia maybe going in, The Rock's grandma. So it'd be interesting if, somebody that influenced the Rock's family, the bloodline, goes in to kind of counterpoint Thunderbolt Patterson, who influenced the Rhodes, because you've got the whole Rhodes bloodline dynamic going on.
That's fair. Of course, I don't read into that stuff, so I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, I had seen a post probably about a week ago where somebody supposedly leaked the Hall of Fame class, and Thunderbolt Patterson was on that. And it seems like that would be a random person to just pull out of thin air for a leaked sheet. So there may have been some validity to it after all, considering that Thunderbolt was announced damn near a week after I saw that post. And then there were two other names on that list that haven't been announced yet, those being Liam Ivia and Bray Wyatt. We've already talked ad nauseum about Bray Wyatt. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole to Wonderland again.
Unless you get a $25 super chat.
But Liam Ivia, I think, could be a very interesting take here. You know, we've already got the High Chief Peter Maivia in. We got Rocky Johnson. Liam Ivia might be an interesting touch to throw in there. And I hope you're just trolling Quansack. If we see another comment like that, you will be timed out. Everyone's allowed their opinion, but I hope you're just trolling, because this is actually one of the best Hall of Fame classes I think we've seen in a very long time.
Yep.
So, Walter, what are your thoughts, good sir?
Yeah, I echo everyone's sentiment that Ali should have been in this. Cyndi Lauper and Ali are two like celebrities that should have been. Like, what the hell are you guys waiting on, basically? Like,
yeah, and
Ali
and as much as, not to cut you off there, but since I have this comment up, as much as me and Jeff have been touting for Cyndi Lauper, I think Ali needed to be in there before Cyndi. After all, there was that match against Antonio Inoki back in like the 70s.
Correct.
So, you know, the influence of Ali on the squared circle goes back even further than the war to settle the score.
Honestly, without Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki, you don't have combat sports as you know it.
Did you almost say Mustafa Ali, sir?
I almost did. Again, I'm tired.
Watch.
Yep.
And plus, Ali's a bad man. He's the greatest, and he's pretty.
Yeah.
Starting to sound like Dakota on Rangers of Wrestling, where she botches people's names.
And we had to get one in. My brain's using 5% of its 10% potential. You're lucky.
Just because I botched a few names. I botched a few names only, not every time. Just it's only having a couple times.
This guy says Gesundheit when I said Japanese names, so I think we're all have our place here.
Never the Latino names, because you pronounce those perfectly to the T. I love the way you like say Rey Mysterio and stuff. Like, I always love when you speak the Hispanic name.
Matilda and Walter, Spanish commentary team.
I think I caught her off guard the other day when I typed Corazon de Leon in the chat room when she was talking about Lionheart Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Corazon de Leon.
But no.
But anyways, Walter, go ahead.
Not only, but it makes sense because, you know, Rocky's a fake character, but he's a boxer. It's in Philly. You induct a boxer that actually had real influence in WWE. So Ali makes sense. Mr. Patterson, I didn't know too. I heard of him because I knew he had something to do with the color barrier in the 60s. So I knew that, but I didn't know about the Dusty influence and all that. So, I mean, but I kind of echo Noah. Like, you got your legend in him. You got the celebrity. You got the female. You got the headliner. So I'm not sure if there's any room for anyone. But what you said, JJ, with the Rock's grandmother, and then going against Cody's legacy family like that would be a perfect intertwining. But I don't know if somebody in creative thinks like that, because, like I said, we talked about it before. Look what Candace just did with no story, and it didn't make sense. So they got to think deep to do that kind of thing. And I don't know if somebody in WWE is smart enough to do that and make that a kind of connection. But hopefully they do.
I don't want to give too much credit here, but I think both The Rock and Triple H are that smart.
That's true.
You know, I think now that The Rock is on the board and seems to be getting a little bit more hands-on, especially as far as the story goes, getting into Mania, if he knows of Thunderbolt Patterson and if he knows the connection to the Rhodes family, then pushing for Liam Ivia for that little added extra, you know, swirl on top of the cake here for the story, I think is something he might push for.
Damn it! Now I
Really
want them
quickly,
to do it.
really quickly, we did get another $20 super chat here, this time from Dwayne Atkinson. Thank you very much, sir.
Wow.
Love and appreciate you, Jeff. Thanks for all you do with the wrestling multiverse, my friend.
Thank you. It was looking to be a lean month in March, so I appreciate you guys tonight coming through. It's very nice.
Yes,
Let's give Jeff his flowers.
Yes,
His name is on the marquee.
Well, I mean, I could go into the Miley Cyrus song, but I can't buy my own flowers, so I appreciate you guys buying them for me. Thank you. Yes. Broke ass. Hey, don't. Yeah, that song. That is a kick-ass song. It won a Grammy, by God. It got Miley her first Grammy, as a matter of fact.
What song are you talking about?
Flowers.
Miley Cyrus, Flowers.
I think her and Bruno should just do their versions of the songs together on stage. I'm here for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
We talking downtown Bruno, Harvey Whippleman?
We already got a great promo out of Bruno as it was. So we do talk about that Bruno on this show.
We talking about Bruno Madrigal?
No, we don't talk about
we
that.
do talk about that, Bruno. That's rule number 5.
Bruno Sammartino, maybe.
But as much as we jest here and as much as we appreciate the love that everyone has shown tonight, let's make sure we spread that love out.
No, I agree.
There's been a lot of love shown towards the Jeff Meacham Network side of things, and only one chat coming to the Casa or to the Greg Cherry brand. So let's try to throw that love out to all the channels that are monetized.
Share the love.
Jeff, it is on you to bring this topic home, good sir.
Okay. So first of all, I will say that I have long been the advocate. No, not Paul Heyman, because everybody advocates Paul Heyman being a Hall of Fame. That should have been a long time ago. But to his own admission, he didn't want to be an active player, and I think, like I said, I think it was last week. It indicates to me that his accepting the nod indicates that we're in the bottom of the 9th here, and we'll leave that where it be until something predicting, which is going to be the week of Mania. We're still working out that schedule. Ali more than deserving. Talk about the fight with Inoki. You talk about the interactions with Gorilla Monsoon and the legendary story about Jake the Snake Roberts not selling a damn thing for Ali. It's like, well, I got to be here next week. He don't. It's like, damn, he's not wrong. Let's see. But again, if it's not Cindy, then Muhammad Ali, again, from the first WrestleMania. We talked about that, JJ, when I went to the Hall of Fame in 2005, that was like the WrestleMania 1 class. But no celebrity inductee. No celebrity inductee. They just had a massive celebrity payout to Sylvester Stallone. How you doing? Hey, he inducted Hogan. It's like, well, if anybody's going to induct Hogan besides me, it might as well be Sylvester Stallone.
Now, the only person you should have been up on the podium inducting is Rob Van Dam, and he didn't want you.
It's not that they didn't want me. We were in a pandemic, and it was all the way across the freaking country. Not my fault. And besides, nobody can induct our Van Dam. Wow, I need to put down the beer clearly. Anyway, I botched. Yes. So as far as Thunderbolt Patterson, again, very much a territory guy. Very much a if you grew up in that area of the country, or if you listened to Dusty tell stories over the years, baby, that I have, Thunderbolt Patterson was very influential in the Dream. So more than deserving, one of those territory guys. Noah makes a valid point, though. I think it was used, Noah, about him being in the legends category,
the legacy,
or the legacy category. Sorry, I went Star Wars canon there for a second. Sorry, but that wing kind of boggles my mind. Like Luna Vachon's in there. She wasn't in the WWE for the 1990s. That's not legacy. That's like now.
Yeah.
Right. Alfred Hayes.
Let's do a roster draft and draft Thunderbolt to the legacy and Luna to the main.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, Lord Alfred Hayes I could see being legacy, but I grew up watching him on Superstars and Challenge, and that was in the 80s. So I think anybody that served their primary function in the WWF after January 23rd of 84, it's not a legacy situation.
Agreed.
It's a modern day or, later. Anyway, so I think Thunderbolt is legacy because he's not in the active WWE historical roster. He may have been in there a cup of coffee a couple times, but he was a territory dude, very much so. As far as Liam Ivia, I can't think of any promoter outside of the ones we've all heard about, Jim Crockett, Vern Gunn, who's already in, those Bill Watts, who's in, that deserves it more than Leah Maivia. She was a pioneer. Even if you've never watched Young Rock, that lady was given the reins of a promotion at a time where it was just not a thing for a woman to be the boss. She is a certified badass. I'm pretty sure Cody's lucky he didn't talk about The Rock's grandma not being proud of him, because Rock would have whooped his ass on stage instead of just slapping him. Talk about Leah Maivia. Rock will whoop that ass all the way through Vegas. He'll take it downtown Vegas where they'll never see his ass again. That shit can happen. But anyway,
I've seen Casino. I know about the holes in the desert.
Yes.
We almost dug a hole and left a body there ourselves one point. True story. That boy almost got left in the desert in a hole.
Yes, he did. Would have been a thing.
What?
And if you'd like to hear that story, that'll be a $25 super chat.
Hey, there is active footage of me abandoning my co-host in Vegas. I don't have it active here in my files, but we did do that back in 2004.
There's also historical footage of drunk as fuck Jeff.
Yes.
In Vegas.
In the fabulous Flamenco Hotel and Casino. And that one is in the archives on the Casa, but we can dig it out for you if you want to. Just super chat us first. Anyway. But anyway. Leah Maivia, if she's the last announced, and I think I'd be okay with that. It'd be a number of 6. I always prefer the even numbers. I don't know why. But you've got Wyndham and Rotunda, who, by the way, that's how you're getting Bray Wyatt this show last week. Wyndham and Rotunda instead of Wyndham Rotunda. They're going to talk about Bray, for fuck's sake. Wyndham Rotunda, Paulie, more than deserving. Thunderbolt, now deserving. Muhammad Ali, definitely deserving. And the name will come to me in a second who the other one is. That's already been announced. It'll get there.
Nakano.
Nakano. God, I see, I'm a bad person.
Not birthday, like I said last week.
I wasn't going to call you out of the botch because I forgot you said that till right now. So I will retroactively take that botch out of your mouth. Deserving class. That comment earlier was horseshit. It's a deserving class. The problem with these classes now is that you're going to have some people that are not going to feel we feel as though they deserve it. Just is what it is. But when you have blockbuster classes like 04, 05, 06, 2013, kind of is what it is, guys. You got to kind of take the good, take the bad. That's the facts of life. Man, I love the people tuning in all night. This is good stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Doing really good this evening. We appreciate all of you guys.
Yes.
We did get another super chat from Dwayne. Noah TikTok. It's almost time, buddy. It's
almost time for what?
The man called Sting.
When we did Revolution a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, Dwayne super chatted quite generously for Noah to sing The Man Called Sting, his old WCW song.
Yes.
However, we forgot to do it after the broadcast because everyone was tired and we wanted to go to bed. So we tabled it, and we told Dwayne that come wrestling karaoke at the end of the month, that'll be the first song before we even break the wheel out and start spinning.
Yes.
Noah will make it up since it is a wrestling theme song.
Things I do for friends.
Oh, poor Noah.
Yes.
And we also decided before you joined us that WrestleMania themes will also be on the wheel. any WrestleMania pay-per-view theme song.
So be prepared to sing The Weeknd, because you got 5 out of 40 for that alone.
Okay. Completely sidebarring for just a minute. So the LA Dolls, who you guys have seen me promote, and I was at their show last Friday before Saturday? No, Friday before Sacrifice. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. So
these LA Dolls right here.
Those dolls right here. Those dolls right here. Yes.
Performing tomorrow on March 31st, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Topanga Social.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. So I was going to say I can record it tomorrow, but we're going to have 2 subs tomorrow because unfortunately one of the girls is back east. She's back east burying her father. It's going to be a tough weekend. And I think the drummer is off with a different gig, I think. So on the 31st, if that song comes up, Blinding Lights, which was the WrestleMania pandemic theme song, I would like to defer that and let the girls sing it. And we can put it up during the WrestleMania night, open mic night.
Possibly.
Okay. Because they sing it real. She does it really. Rocky and Ariel do it really well. So, and gonna do it better than me because I can't sing worth a shit.
I like WrestleMania 22's theme song, Big Time by Peter Gabriel.
That's back when themes actually had purpose and they mattered. It wasn't just a one-hit wonder for the year it was and the month they promoted it, blah, blah, blah.
I'll tell you what, though. That song dicked me on Wrestling Trivia Challenge because I forgot the WrestleMania 21 theme also had a name, Big Time, just a completely different song.
Oh,
and I got screwed on that.
That's a really bad mistake on your
Greg and
part,
I still
bro.
get sideways on that shit every once in a while.
I mean, some of those themes kind of run together. I mean, if we're being honest. So. Just from name context alone. But yeah, 22 was definitely up there for me. 23, 19, always 19. Who am I freaking kidding? But yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm pretty sure 22 right now is still my favorite theme off the top of my head because I love me some Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, that was a good song. And if we're just talking about wrestling, theme songs aside of WrestleMania, SummerSlam 2003 SummerSlam's Metallica Saint Anger. That's a good one.
You never go wrong with Metallica. Anyway,
we saw them in concert that year.
I was gonna say any of Metallica.
Saint Anger is always going to be a touchy thing with diehard Metallica fans because
yeah,
a lot of people think that album was trash.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't fall in that category. I enjoyed Saint Anger and Frantic, the 2 big songs from it. But going back and listening to Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, I can understand why those fans think Saint Anger is trash.
Sure.
Yeah.
My wife down. She's like, "Who's talking shit about Metallica?" I said, "No one, calm down."
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Walter's wife about to come in and freaking chastise somebody here. Tell him to be quiet.
I'm going to go ahead and make an exception this time because Arlene said, can we use some of the super chat money that she donated to get the story?
Okay.
And normally I'd be like, no, because we're trying to get more people to donate. But Arlene is always so supportive, and she did throw $50 our way.
MVP.
I think I'll go ahead and give the story. So,
oh boy. Disclaimers.
This was a long time ago. This was before Jeff. This was probably 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And we had a big van of us friends, me and my girlfriend, one of my friends, his girlfriend, Mike, and 2 of our other mutual friends. So there was like 7 of us that went to Vegas for this trip for a weekend. And we did our thing up in Vegas. We had fun. Typical Vegas shenanigans. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And it was time to leave. And Mike's father, who's since passed, may he rest in peace, lived in Vegas at the time. And so he wanted to swing by, see his dad. Mike had lost money, as Mikey do, in Vegas.
Okay, so the Stepway Mikey, not the other Mike. Okay.
No. This is our resident statistician.
Okay.
Who you can see every Tuesday on Statboy Sports Bar.
I'm thinking the amphibian. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Cheap plug.
Okay.
So he wanted to stop by, see his dad, and ulterior motively, he wanted to see if he could get some money from him. But of course, he didn't tell him that. He just called him and saying, hey, can I come by see you? I'm in town.
Right.
So We take him to his dad's house, of course, which is like half hour, 45 minutes out of the way.
As Mikey do.
And we tell him, be like, because we're told he's going to go try and get some money from him.
Oh, boy.
He's told his dad that he wants to come and see him. So there's already a conflict in what's being told to people. So we tell him, hurry up because we want to start the drive back home.
Sure.
An hour and 15 minutes later, this fool comes outside after talking with his dad and visiting for a little bit.
Oh, boy.
So we're already pissed that we've been sitting in this hot-ass car in Vegas weather for an hour and 15 minutes.
Right.
Gets in the car, and we start to drive off. Motherfucker didn't get a goddamn penny from him. So the entire time we're waiting there, this fool didn't even get what he told us he was going for. Needless to say.
Yeah. It was in that moment.
Pretty much all of the dudes and the women wanted to kill a motherfucker and leave him buried in the Vegas desert.
So, O2 girlfriend, is this somebody I know?
No.
Okay. Different. Well, know of, but not know. Okay. So my story, we did XMV, the old No DQ video show. We're actually celebrating our 2-year anniversary of that show because it's been audio for 2 years before that. In Vegas, I had just turned 21 like that previous March. So I'm still, wet around the ears when it comes to the alcohol use. And not knowing protocol back then because we're 21 and derpy, we're filming in the casinos, in the hotels. We're recording content, and nobody bothered to stop us. There is video somewhere of SoCal Val being served a drink that we had purchased, and we did not know that she was not legally allowed to drink that beverage yet. So that could have been one thing right there we could have gone to jail for. And then we only got tossed out of the casino because we were talking to the late Ryan Sakota, and security felt like we can't film in here, and then we bail. So we get in the car, we're heading home, and my old co-host, who I still won't name on the air, just the whole time, chirp. So we stop because he's got to go to the potty. And side of the road is what it is, going from Vegas to California. So Aaron is completely curled up in the back seat, just dead ass asleep. Because he'd been driving. He was the only driver of the trip, but the other co-host was also a driver, but he had to go out and potty. So I, being the asshole I am, jumped behind the wheel of the car, Aaron's car, and took off and left him there in the middle of the desert. Showed up PWG about a week later in the same clothes. It was fun. He was not happy, but it worked out. I'm still here.
All righty.
So we actually did leave him in the desert because he was just a prick. So anyway, story time with the Dads Not Always on Wrestling, kids. There you go. For only $25 in Super Chat.
It's better than story time with Adam Cole.
Baby.
All right, so that's going to wrap up that topic. We're going to take another commercial break. Since we just ran down the Stat Boy, we'll show you what you can see every Tuesday in Stat Boy Sports Bar. And we'll come back and we'll hit you with the main event as we talk about an All Elite CEO. We will return.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Beecham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Cassidy 18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
And we are back. It is now time for the main event as we talk about Mercedes Moné becoming All Elite.
Yep.
Before we get into it, we got a super chat from Emmanuel for $10. Thank you very much. Who says AEW has a debut problem. Music hits, fans cheer, heels watch debut, and they actually stop beating up the victim. Debut beats lackeys. Victim raises hand of hero and faces boss team. Repeat.
Fair.
No lies detected.
No.
And really quickly, Arlene, we're going to give Noah the night off tonight as far as taking any punishments.
Yes.
As you can see on his smiling face, he is just so happy to be here right now. So we would rather not have him turn the lights off, put his headset down, and walk away.
Turn the lights off, carry him home. Oh, he is home.
So we are giving Noah the week off as far as punishments go, but come next week, we may have to, come up with something.
Yes.
We love you, Noah.
We do.
Got a weird way of showing it.
Aw, damn.
We show it by making you call Jeff Jarrett matches.
Wee woo, wee woo.
You're lucky I'm
okay.
too tired to freaking rant on the witch.
She meant for karaoke night.
Ah. Well, he's already doing the man called Sting. That's punishment enough. He's got to wait it out and sweat it out for 2 more weeks.
No. Punishment would be All American Boys.
Oh, there you go. Or American Males. Since they just did the Buff Bagwell thing on Dark Side. Easy song.
Girls in Cars.
I still can't believe I didn't know they had words. That pissed me off. I'm mad at myself for that shit.
Billy and Chuck, you look so good to me.
That's just evil. That's just next level.
Those are punishment songs.
Those are punishment songs. And they'll be on the wheel, by the way, in 2 weeks. So, there is that.
So.
Good thing I got Modertor for my PS5, because I'm going to need it.
So when it comes to Mercedes Moné, in the moment, watching it, calling the action live with Noah and James, I thought everything was fantastic. As I'm sure all of us did.
Yep.
And then the numbers got released. And I know, you don't have to give me the line, Noah. We all know how ratings have changed over the years.
Yeah, I'm too tired to talk about that shit.
But the numbers were released with the quarter hours. And it really made me wonder, upon examining things, if things were really handled the proper way. On top of that, ever since then, stories have come out as to Mercedes already having locker room heat. So it's one of those things where A plus B plus C, do we already have a bubbling CM Punk style problem on our hands? And is this something that can be course corrected immediately, or is it something that's going to doom it from the jump before the ball really gets to get rolling? You know, if you look at the quarter hour numbers, 1 million views tuned in to watch Mercedes's debut. The final segment, which had Mercedes come in and help Willow Nightingale, 627,000. So people tuned in to see her debut, and then everybody checked out. And nobody stayed around to keep watching. So if these are accurate, and again, I know as much focus isn't put on the numbers as used to be during the Attitude Era, but wouldn't it have been smarter for her debut to be closer to the end of the show? That way people would have tuned in and stayed tuned in until they got her debut. Like, it seems like a no-brainer to me. I said all along that she needed to debut either during or at the end of Willow versus Riho. And while she did come out there during that match, because of the post-match beatdown that was being handed to her by Julia Hart and Sky Blue, they had already popped their cherry at the start of the show. Like, it was like Jim and Nadia from American Pie. Like, dude just touched her and popped. You know, they started the show and the cherry popped. And then there was no reason to stay tuned in. Then as far as the heat goes, she had done an interview with the, and yes, this is the actual name of the podcast, the Kick Rocks podcast, where she stated about how she is going to be back in WWE one day. And she gives this interview, and it's released roughly a week before her AEW debut. So you're announcing to the world that you're basically just here as a holdover until you're ready to go back to the WWE. That's where the heat is coming from. Walter, we'll go ahead and start things off with you on this one, as you're the only person that I don't think has started yet, because Noah had the first topic, Jeff the second, Attila the Hall of Fame. So we'll let you go ahead and kick this one off.
Plus, he was there.
Did AEW miss the mark by having Mercedes kick the show off and not waiting till later in the broadcast? At the very least, the second hour kickoff.
Yes, they did.
And the heat, do you feel it's warranted?
Okay. First, yes, they shouldn't have did it at the beginning. And I chatted you that when we were there, that it kind of took the air out of the arena. We were hot. The arena was hot. I was there live. We screamed. It went off fine. Everything was hot. But then it was like, okay, she debuted. Now what? Like the rest of the show. Like, you know, like you should have saved that for the last segment. Or maybe not even have a talking segment. Maybe she saves Willow at the end. It was a beatdown or something, and all of a sudden some new music pops, nobody knows what it is until the screen says Mercedes Moné, and then you would have got an even louder pop for that. But then you wouldn't have got the CEO part, I guess. I think that it was done on purpose to set it up so people can get used to chanting CEO, and then like it could become a thing. I think that's part of why they did it at the beginning. But they kind of ruined the surprise as everybody on the floor entered, they gave us these green signs that said, "I'm here for Mercedes Moné." I was like, well, way to freaking ruin it. But like, I mean, we were like 90% sure she was going to be there anyway. So, but still, like, damn it, surprised me. What the hell? Is the heat warranted? Yes and no. It kind of depends, like, how long ago that was actually recorded before she signed the contract or knew she was debuting. Because I know the timing sucks, but we know with editing, you guys know, you're producers, with editing and everything, some people record things months ahead of time and then it's just coincidentally released like that and it looks like that. So that may not be her fault. Like maybe she was just thinking, yeah, someday I'll be back in WWE, but the timing of the release of that podcast was real bad timing because a week before you debut in this company and you were already talking about going back to your original company. And like you said, now you just made AEW seem like a placeholder. So I can kind of see why there's backstage heat on her. But then again, alone, there's rumors that she's the highest paid woman ever. That's going to draw heat in and of itself. Just jealousy in this business. I don't give a damn what people said. Wrestling is one of the biggest ego-driven kind of sports or entertainment or anything you want to say. That ego, everybody has big ass egos or chips on their shoulder in that wrestling business. So the fact that she's coming back, you already know. In terms of anybody comes into the company, gets this big hype, people are going to feel like she's taking food out of my mouth or he's taking food out of my mouth. Somebody's taking food out of your mouth because they're getting paid this amount of money. And it's like, I've been here. Why don't you push me? Why don't you? There's always going to be those grumbling people are always going to hate. People are always going to get a little bit jealous. They may act professional, but in the back of their mind, they're like, well, what the hell? I was already here. Like, why can't I get this kind of money? So it's like a yes and no thing as in terms of he is warranted, but I don't care what the ratings say. I was there in person. She was over like Rover. Like when she came out, I don't know how it translated watching TV. I haven't watched it like on TV or tried to find something, but that CEO chants were going on for a long ass time. Like even when the camera cut away, I'm sure when you guys were on commercial, she kept playing around and dancing on the ramp, on the entrance, and giving people a high five and hugging the hell out of everybody. She was like literally walking around the ring and literally like I think the whole front row got hugged. And I don't know if that was her mother in the front. She really hugged this other. I don't know. It could have been her mother. I'm not sure, but they showed it on the screen when she was hugging her, and it looked like if you lip read, she said "I love you," but so it had to be somebody in her family.
Yeah, I'm sure that was familial.
Yeah, she was like, I mean, over like she had star written all over her, and they made her feel like an instant big thing, regardless of what the ratings say. But yeah, you doing it at the beginning kind of pop the balloon, like you let the air out like real fast, and I think what they tried to do was counter that by having the world title the very first match. I feel like they knew that was going to happen, like the whole Mercedes thing, like the air was going to be let out of the arena, so let's start it big with a Samoa Joe title match, but it didn't work. Like, I was into the match, don't get me wrong, but it's still kind of like the rest of the night just fell flat after that. Like, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Dynamite was a good show, 8, 9 out of 10, but it just, you knew we were in Boston for her. So to give it to us right at the beginning was just like, what the F are you doing type thing.
Yeah, it was the worst kept secret since CM Punk debuting at Rampage. So.
Exactly.
I mean, they freaking put BOSSTON on the flyers. Like they were letting it be known without basically tattooing it on people.
Exactly.
And they pretty much did that by putting the flyers on people's seats.
Exactly. Like what the?
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much 1995 two-faced about this. I'm of two minds. Like, I get it's worst kept secret. It's almost universally known she's going to be there, so you might as well lean into it. But having her start the show, I mean, whatever we think of the Nielsen's now or not, the ratings don't lie. Numbers don't lie. That's the one thing in this world that doesn't lie, as long as you have credible sources. Numbers, man. It completely tapered off the entire rest of the show and continued a downward trend almost the entire rest of the way. That's AEW not conditioning their audience to have their shows be destination viewing where they got to stick around for 2 hours. That goes back to that super chat. The freaking the debuts are not kept secret. One of the best things about the Monday Night Wars, and I think we all grew up in that era watching that. Maybe not, I don't know, no, it was around during the wars themselves or just watched it back later. But one of the best about Monday Night Wars was not knowing what was going to happen. The Radicals showing up on Raw. Sean Waltman showing up on Nitro. Sean Waltman showing up on Raw. Just different things like that. Chris Jericho showing up at Raw. Again, not a well-kept secret, but still a pop of a moment. Hell, even after the wars were over, people showing up out of nowhere. I was talking with, I called into Busted Open Radio this morning and talked to Denise Salcedo and Mark Henry about this. When Stone Cold returned off camera in 2003 before he returned officially at No Way Out, man, that Staples Center was shaking like it had just been rebuilt. It was crazy. People tune in to television and they watch these wrestling shows because they like not knowing. That is my biggest bitch with the internet wrestling community, is that they complain there's nothing to enjoy. It's like, well, if you mucker feathers would stop spoiling everything and revealing what's going to happen, you'd be okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Josh Mansfield.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. So, and unfortunately for us that have been around a while, that is not a Josh only situation. I had no idea Steve was going to be there at that Raw. It was awesome. It was a great moment. There was a mild inkling that The Rock was going to return in 2011, but you wouldn't know what the way Anaheim reacted when that music hit. Holy shit! So surprises in wrestling are great, but at the same time, they leaned into it. They let us know what was going to happen. Having her start the show and not waiting for the second hour, or since they know she's going to be there, make people grab the edge of their seat and just be chomping at the bit. Have her be the main event segment. Still have Riho and Willow, but have her come out and confront Willow like we talked about. Unfinished business. It's not hard to write, it's just hard to finance, and they already paid the bitch. So I don't see why they had to throw out there. And hey, they hit that million mark in a quarter hour. Now sustain it for 2 hours, guys. CM Punk was going to be your guy to get you to stay there at that million number. I don't think Mercedes is that person, but she started it off with $1 million views quarter hour. So time will tell. As far as the heat, she's a pretty girl being paid a lot of money on a roster with a lot of other pretty girls that were also being paid a lot of money and not getting the same amount of time. It's going to happen. Yeah, this is a thing. When you got a bunch of dudes in the same situation, alpha male is a thing. It's unfortunately the human nature to be competitive. And I think that people are predisposed to having heat for Mercedes because of her reputation. Gee, I wonder why. But like we said with everything else on our topics this year, when things are a little dicey, let it cook, let it be, and we'll see in a week. We'll see at Dynasty. We'll see at Double or Nothing and beyond.
Yep. Received a $10 super chat from Emmanuel. Wanted to send Attila some love, but couldn't, breaking the ice for her. If the rumors are true, Mercedes being the highest paid wrestler for both women and men is crazy. Hope AEW gets its money's worth. I know Attila replied in the chat. She's not monetized yet. We are on a mission to get her there.
Yep.
All it is right now is the view hours.
Yeah.
She's got everything else. So go to her channel, click on her videos, watch them on a loop, get those view hours up. Then we'll be able to get her monetized, and you will be able to send her super chats like that. But Attila, we were going to you next. That's why I went ahead and threw that up there with the nod to you. What are your thoughts on the Mercedes situation?
Well, I think that they were trying to build this episode kind of like first stance with CM Punk. So it's understandable why she opened. Maybe people that tuned in and tuned out afterwards probably just wanted to see what she was gonna do. And since all she did was cut the promo, they probably thought that was the end of it. I kind of do agree with you, JJ. I feel like she should have came out at the end and confronted Willow, but I understand why she opened. I totally get why she did. And I guess time will tell. We'll see what the ratings are next week. As far as for having heat, like Walter said, is it warranted? Yes and no. I mean, yes, because it kind of makes it sound like you're just using AEW until WWE gives you what you want. So I can kind of understand why that rubbed people the wrong way too. And I also understand there's another line that she said in her promo where she said that AEW is the only place that the revolution can be global. It feels like she's saying that she started the women's revolution, which I feel like in AEW it's what they need, but I could see why some people took that the wrong way, because it's kind of like, TNA started the women's revolution back in 2007.
Damn
and I
right.
feel like TNA never gets enough credit for that.
Nope.
But I do agree with hopefully that the women in AEW do get a revolution and they do bring in more outside women, like, luchadoras and, people from Stardom. So we'll see.
It's fair. All right, Noah.
Hold on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, for Britt Baker, I feel like Willow makes the most sense because they have unfinished business. So, I was just responding to your comment, Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just meant purely rating wise, not like making sense. But yeah, of course the Willow thing makes sense because she beat her in the tournament. But I mean, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me.
All right, Noah, go ahead and bring us home as far as this goes.
You already know, as far as ratings goes to me, they're absolutely irrelevant. Fucking blood-sucking network CEOs freaking guiding the industry with their bullshit advertising and dictating what a booker could do because this sells and can't take a chance on somebody else. But anyway, as far as the execution goes, yeah, I would have saved it for probably the second hour. And I understand up to that point, you only would probably have people, just probably chanting, we want Monet, because the focus of the entire night was definitely Mercedes when they arrived. It was her hometown. It was Boston, and it was the number one reason that was a packed house. But I do think at the end of the day, you probably could have saved that for a bridge point of the show and then further what you were basically building. Because, yeah, she has unfinished business, but we don't have to go right into it. You tease it. You let us know what it's about, because not everybody watches New Japan Pro Wrestling or AEW like I, who watches all things wrestling. So it's one of those things where it comes down to execution for me. I probably would have saved it for the start of the second hour. But still, I'm glad that she got the reception that she did. I'm glad that it was a focal point throughout. It did guide towards what was the main event. Very good match with Willow Nightingale and Riho. But as far as the posting over regarding that match, honestly, you probably could let Mercedes Moné out of it. And for those that don't know, here's a spoiler alert for you for Wednesday Night Rampage for the women. 3, 2, 1. Beep. It will be Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale taking on Sky Blue and Julia Hart in a street fight on Rampage. So you can pretty much tell that tag saga is coming to an end, because there's one thing about AEW: street fights are a definitive conclusion. Period. So I'm looking forward to that. And as far as the look, you guys know me. I'm hashtag spoiler free, but there's no such thing as something remaining not spoiler in this day and age of connected internet wrestling community industry, where all someone has to do is click or screenshot an exclusive Patreon feed or something from within a resource they paid off or somehow got inside intel on, and then someone else spreads around like wildfire. This is the internet. You want to actually try and be surprised 8 out of 10 times and enjoy the industry for something that might surprise you. Here's your advice. There's something you do. There's a little button on the side. And you just turn it off. You also have something on a thing called mute. It's super simple. You should try it. Anyway, that's your IT lesson of the day. Pay me $15 for another one. Anyway, yeah, as far as the podcast thing goes, yeah, I think it's warranted, because TNA is the real alternative that started with women's evolution before WWE knew what divas were versus women's professional wrestlers at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn with Bayley and Sasha Banks. So as far as I'm concerned, it was not started with her, but she wants to expand the outlook of women's wrestling. I'm all for it. But if it's only to glorify her and try and get her another way back to WWE with a heavier wallet, then meh, get out of here. Because in an industry that is absolutely competitive about going for your spot, I do think there's some of the industry that aren't just in it for the money. They're actually in it to push forward professional wrestling. Damn it. And I want to thank Mercedes Moné based on her speech. It's something like that. But when you idolize somebody like Eddie Guerrero, it's really easy to see somebody lie, cheat, and steal. We'll see what happens as far as the reception of the women's division and Mercedes Moné in AEW as the weeks progress. But I probably would have handled Boston a little different. And if Stardom is officially part of the AEW mix, that enough already for me tells me that this women's division is already progressing in a better state, with or without Moné. Congrats to Moné and AEW. Do a lot with it. Don't use it as a stepping stone to WWE, because there's one thing we learned is since AEW existed and this industry this year, as far as its presentation, WWE is not the only game in town. It may be the biggest, but it certainly doesn't have to be the last.
All right. We did get a super chat from Arlene for an impromptu topic that we'll go ahead and do before we take our final commercial, before we come back and hit the shills. $5 super chat said, that thoughts on fans on Twitter saying that Chad Gable should have won the gauntlet match over Sami Zayn. Honestly, for the most part, I agree with them. I love Sami. Don't get me wrong. You know, there's a reason why El Renegado de la Lucha Libre bears a resemblance to El Generico. But I digress. You know,
I don't know where they see it.
Chad Gable most definitely should have won that. And I think they did more damage than good for Gable with him losing, especially with the way they've been building him over the last couple weeks with these vignettes, and with the fact that he was the fresh man in the match trying to take on Sami Zayn after going toe-to-toe with Shinsuke Nakamura, after getting tsunamied by Bronson Reed. Like, I get the underdog story for Sami. And if we're being 100% blunt, Sami, I think, only got the win because he's a more recognizable name than Chad Gable. But it 100% should have been Chad Gable. Like, at this point, the only way it'll make sense to me is if Chad Gable goes full-blown heel at WrestleMania and cost Sami the title. Tatilla, what do you think?
I agree. It should have been Chad Gable. I agree. I was also kind of thinking, like Matthew said, a triple threat maybe, but I kind of stopped and I thought about something. They're gonna do the showdown. What's that called? What's it called? Showdown in Berlin? That show?
Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin. So I kind of thought that maybe Country's not going to lose at WrestleMania, which is why they threw Sami Zayn in there instead of Chad Gable. Because if Country's going to retain, might as well retain against Sami Zayn instead of Chad Gable. So I can kind of see it that way. But at the same time, it's kind of like, when is Gunter going to lose that title? Like, what's next for Gunter if he holds on to that title? You run into a situation where it's kind of like you're going to have him hold the title until August. So what is there left for him to do? Like, when is he going to lose it? You know, after that show, maybe? Because, like, who is left to beat? Like, who is left to beat for Gunter?
That's fair. At this point, and I'm going to make a TNA reference, which should make you proud. I'm almost ready for him to exercise option C.
Dang.
Right? Thank you. And I do like that reference, but I for those of you who don't know what option C is, if you're X Division champion, you could exercise that option and challenge for the world title, but you relinquish the belt.
But by doing that, Gunther was never defeated for the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Then, if he loses the title match, he's got an automatic rematch for the IC title because he can say, I never lost this belt.
Yeah, that's true. So in my opinion, while I may have wanted Chad Gable to win, if Gunter's going to retain at WrestleMania, because they want him to hold that belt until Bash in Berlin, then Sami Zayn beating Chad Gable makes the most sense.
I'm just thinking, like, there's been a whole lot of talk about doing a Sylvester Stallone Rocky style angle with WrestleMania being in Philly where Rocky took place. I feel like Chad Gable is the guy to go with for that. Like, it just seems like it would make sense for Chad Gable to be the underdog Rocky Balboa here, going up against the big bad foreigner like Ivan Drago in Rocky IV, you know. Granted, Ivan Drago was a Russian, but still, like, big bad foreigner gimmick. The all-American underdog. Visa issues have nothing to do with Philadelphia, Emmanuel. I'm sorry. That's been what's been said for every international pay-per-view beforehand, but Philadelphia's in the States. That has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Jeff.
So I don't
really
know.
Really quickly, not to cut you off. If you finish, if you can throw to Walter, I'm going to step off real quick to use the facilities.
Sure. Again, the chatter about him not being able to travel to Berlin for that show, I've got to believe they're going to clear that up by then. They can't not have him in Berlin. That's goddamn ridiculous not to have him booked there. So I would say that's not going to be an issue come August 31st. I would think they'd have that cleared up by then. And I actually want them to do that. Like, I don't want him to lose here. I want him to warrior it and win the world title and have, hell, a tournament for the Intercontinental Championship is great because he's beaten everybody. So have everybody else that already got the ass whooped fight for, okay, well, now you got to be the guy to try to, carry this championship that he's carried for whatever it's going to end up being 2 years or by the time we get to Berlin. I love that booking. I love that way to go about it. For me, there's no other way. Having said that, I would not have any issue at all with Sami Zayn winning the championship. I know people were high on Chad Gable, as am I. Love Chad. But people are going to sit there and say that Sami Zayn should have won the title at Montreal last year. No, he shouldn't have. No, he should the hell not have. Again, I love Sami, old friend, but Roman has to lose the championship if he's going to lose it on a big stage, or it just feels like we waited for this, really? Like they did in freaking Montreal for Sami just because of the pop? Like, no, you do it with Cody WrestleMania, but they did. So it's like, okay, now what? Do it at SummerSlam with Jay. No, okay, well, we'll keep going. Losing it to Sami would have been great for Sami, great for the city, but it would have felt lesser than for me. Same with, Chad's already lost. Whether we like the way he lost or not, he lost the challenge to Gunther. Sami Zayn has been plugging along. He, I will argue, is the one that made the Intercontinental Championship mean something again in the pandemic era. Granted, Gunther has carried that better than anybody in the last 3 decades. But Sami is the one that made it. The shit's still worth fighting for. So if anybody is going to challenge Gunther, and I would not have a problem with them winning at WrestleMania, it's Sami Zayn for me.
Fair. Walter?
Yeah, I echo what Dilla said. I think the whole reason Sami won is because, spoiler for the picks, it's because he's not winning. It's because Gunther's going to retain. So, and you don't want him to retain over Chad if you're going to actually push it. And I like the idea of him warrioring it in the tournament, because I was going to say, both of you I was going to say something both of you said. I said, you use the IC title now that it's prestigious, and Gunther made it prestigious and made it mean something. You use it as a way to bring back the King of the Ring tournament, and you do it all in one night. You do the pay-per-view, and the prize is not only are you King of the Ring, you're the Intercontinental Champion now. And instantly that title is prestigious and held up to a higher standard. He had to vacate it because he went off to be the world champ. The world champion, not the undisputed WWE one, but the Raw champion. And you do the one-night tournament, you make King of the Ring, and the winner gets the IC title. That's my fantasy booking for that. I would love that to happen. But yeah, I think the whole reason Sami won is because he's not winning at WrestleMania, and he can take the loss better than Chad. Because it just seems like they always do that when somebody brings personal family, and he kept mentioning his daughter, and I was like, I don't think he's winning. In my head, it's just because they leaned into that so hard, and I was like, I don't think something's gonna happen where Chad doesn't win. It's just I had that feeling because he kept bringing up that and crying. It was almost too overdone where you'd be like, oh yeah, Chad's gonna win, and I was like, yeah, no, they kind of made it too obvious, and so I don't think he's going to. So nothing against Sami or anything. I'm glad he won, but I think he won just to lose to Gunther.
Do we really feel, though, before I throw it to Noah, that they're going to keep all the major championships heel heavy, though? I mean, let's think about this for a second. If Gunther retains, that's a heel IC champion. Drew defeats Seth, that's a heel world champion. And we all have to acknowledge the fact that there's at the very least a 50-50 chance that Cody won't finish his story, and we will still have Roman Reigns as the undisputed champion. That all you want, but at this point, can you really bet against Roman? If you were walking into a Las Vegas bookie and putting money on that match with as on fire as Roman has been, would you really feel confident to put $100, $500, $1,000, assuming you had it to bet in the first place, on somebody that wasn't Roman Reigns?
Superman doesn't gamble, so your question's irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't gamble either.
I know you don't know, but work with me on this.
Fine, I put $5 down on Cody.
Comfortable putting money on someone that wasn't Roman with as on fire as he's been.
Nah, I don't eat McDonald's. I put $5 on Cody. W needs to change.
Hey, JJ, add to that, what if Judgment Day retains? Now every title is literally to heel.
You know, and even if Priest cashes in, Priest is still a heel.
I think we're relying on Logan Paul to retain far too much.
No, I wasn't even bringing Logan into this.
I'm just saying, you know, because
whether he's a heel champion or not, the U.S. title hasn't been held to the same regard as the IC title,
which is also a shame.
I was only really going off of the 2 world titles and the IC title.
Cool on it.
I'm trying to think. Was there a time they did that where they leaned it on and every title was heel?
I'll just go back and look in history. I'm sure there was. At some point.
I'm sure it's happened. It probably would have been a minute though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't know. Like the odds and the logic for having Sammy do it because Gunther's going to retain do make sense. But it's the underdog story in Philly.
Yep.
Like, unless they had Gable beat Gunther on the Raw after Mania,
which would destroy the Raw after Mania.
But, like, I don't know if they would let all 3 titles walk out with heel champions. And yes, Cody very well may finish the story, but we have to seriously examine the fact that Roman could walk out of there with that belt.
Definitely possible.
I hope he doesn't.
And JJ, where can they hear more about that type of information or opinion?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Jeff, because you can
Funny
go
how that
back
works.
into the archives and check out the episode of Inside the Mind of the Renegade that I did this past Tuesday, where I talked about the story and how it shouldn't end at WrestleMania, how it should end, and how Hulk Hogan could be involved in it. Because as we all know, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Dude, Hogan's looking thin. Did you guys see that?
Noah?
I remember he used to be 303.
What? Oh, me. Okay.
Damn it, Noah.
It's still 316 day on the West Coast.
What?
Anyway.
Huh?
Excuse me?
Huh?
Yeah.
Beg your pardon?
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Shush. Now.
Thank you. Anyways, go ahead, Noah.
Holy shit.
How am I cognitive enough to even go along with this gag? Okay, back to the
I
question.
think this is the most we've seen him smile all night. Hold on, let me get a close up here.
Yeah, you got a little bit. Good job. Achievement.
Achievement unlocked.
I don't even own an Xbox anymore. It's all about trophies. I'm a PlayStation guy. Power of the players. That being said, this roguelike poker is very entertaining to me. I'm looking forward to playing more of that tomorrow. All right. Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, Gunther, Intercontinental Championship. ... Philly. Well, I'll give WWE this. And by the way, sense. We're talking about sense, as in, using logic to actually define something, not the coins that look like they're made out of copper, made out of zinc, right? Because you want some, I got some of those. Those are called pennies for those that still use them. I don't even know if pennies are still relevant anymore. Anyway, back to this. Yeah, Sami Zayn makes sense here for one reason. He is one of the remaining bodies left in the WWE that has yet to fail towards the ring general. honestly, Gunther is the NXT Asuka. He's going to go to the point that he's going to hold this title and nobody is going to beat him for it. So you're either going to do one of two things. He's either going to relinquish it after making it more sacred than anybody else in history and beyond anybody can do now in the present, and challenge Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce to find somebody worthy of carrying this championship as he moves on to bigger and better things. Because I'm just putting it out there right now. If he does not become the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, whatever the hell they're calling the Raw title for whatever it exists for, in the show at Bash of the Berlin, then they've dropped the ball with him. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's done everything humanly possible with the Intercontinental Championship, unlike anything I've seen in my 32 years, by the way, Jeff, of fandom. Been a fan since 1992. So, yeah, Sami Zayn, everyone loves an underdog story, and it's Philly. I don't watch movies. I've heard of Rocky, though. But this is it's not boxing. He is going to get powerbomb into oblivion, ragdoll all about it, as he do. And he is going to, at this point, I'm going to say, lose. As far as Chad Gable, well, he put everything he could into it in honor of being that leader towards his family. Still plans to be leader to his family, but still is that all-around collegiate athlete. Maybe it's time that people start saying you suck and we see what he's truly capable of, because he knows how good he is. He just needs to really do something for himself to put it all out there and get results. And apparently holding integrity didn't do it on Monday Night Raw. And yes, I watched that gauntlet match. Raw had a good TV match for me. Good job. All right. So yeah, Gunther, as far as the Intercontinental Championship goes, he either becomes both Intercontinental Heavyweight or he relinquishes it. We get a tournament. Walter, keep dreaming. I know the only reason you say is because, and I quote, you want the King of the Ring tournament. They're not gonna do it. Sorry, not sorry. It's WWE. It's the way things are. Dadgum. Anyway. So yeah, Gunther becomes world champion. Maybe holds the Continental. Otherwise, we vacate it and we get a collab Raw SmackDown tournament. Hey, maybe they can do that for Survivor Series. Who the fuck knows? And as far as Sami Zayn, I mean, yeah, if you want somebody that's going to be an underdog and ragdoll oblivion off of lariats and power bombs, then Sami Zayn's your guy. So, he's there. So good for him getting a WrestleMania moment single wise after boy, what a difference a year makes, right? But I just don't see Gunther right now being pinned or submitted for that championship while only holding it. He eats his fall or submission when he becomes world champion, whether or not he's holding the Intercontinental Championship, in my opinion. That's how good Gunther is. For the mat is sacred.
It's fair. As far as were we ever heel heavy, the first time that I could think of where it might have happened was when Sergeant Slaughter was champion.
Mm-hmm.
Slaughter was WWF champion. Perfect was IC champion. And during that time when the Hart Foundation and the Rockers were fighting, was the Hart Foundation heels?
No, they were baby faces during that particular time.
But the Nasty Boys were heels.
Right. So
you actually then had it then, because the Nasty Boys won the tag titles the same night Slaughter lost the WWF title. So for at least portion of the night, all heels held the gold.
Right.
There may be other opportunities to look into, but that was the first one that thought of in my head. And
depending on what week it was in '93, Yokozuna, Shawn Michaels, and either the Money Inc. or the Quebecers.
There you go. So it has happened.
Yeah.
Okay. We did get another $2 super chat from Dwayne, who asks, what titles are going to be retained at Mania?
Simply Predicting is coming.
Well, he did pay.
Yes. No, I know.
And he may even be on the Simply Predicting panel.
I hope so.
He is a regular there. Hope to see him there.
Been a while, Dwayne. Been a while.
But based off of the matches we know all the participants for right now, so I'm not including the tag team ladder match because we don't know who's going to be in that one. I would say my booking of things. Rhea retains. EO loses. With everything that's being said here, I'm thinking we may have Gunther retain, Logan lose.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking we'll have Roman retain and Seth lose. And that covers pretty much all the titles except the tag titles, which we don't know who all is going to be in that match yet.
Nor if the
So I'm
women's tag
thinking
titles
we
are
have
gonna
a pretty
kick off.
even split.
Nor
I
if the
think
women's
two
tag
people
titles
are winning the tag titles.
Ugh.
What was that, Noah?
Nor if the women's tag titles are going to be on the kickoff.
Right.
I meant for the men's tag titles. I think two people or two teams are winning.
Me too. I think that's how they're finally going to split them. Because I think two teams are going to grab titles.
You can only hope.
That's what they should like. It's do I have faith in their ability to keep the tag team division strong? No, but if they're not going to create one single pair of titles, then fucking split it already. Seriously.
Yeah, we have too many teams that are floundering.
Yeah.
Because one team has two sets of titles.
Right.
So, and there's a rumor that brand new design titles have been made. They're just looking for an opportunity to debut them. So I would say split the titles, based off of what we do know. Have like Awesome Truth grab one set of titles, we'll say the New Catch Republic grab the other set of titles.
I'm here for that.
Split them like that, and then on Raw and SmackDown following Mania, we can debut the new belts.
As long as they don't look like a blueberry cherry fruit roll up with nickels.
I don't know if you can do this.
I mean, you're not wrong, but damn.
I don't know if you can do this, but you can have Awesome Truth grab one set and Regeneration X grab the other set, and the four-man group that are a group, now all of them have the tag titles.
But the problem with that would be that they're all on Raw. If they're
For now, doesn't mean they have to stay on Raw if they win the SmackDown tag title.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet.
A multiplex near you, The Grumpiest Old Men, starring Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, and Noah Foster.
He's not old. He's the youngest one here, I think. I think it's almost a certainty the Judgment Day are going to drop the titles just because they've got to get them away from those titles and get Priest on the trajectory to cash the goddamn contract in. My goodness. I don't know about Logan being the one to lose and Gunther retaining, though. Again, I'd like to see Sammy win, but I think Logan is US. I mean, it's going against Owens and Orton. I would much rather see Randy get at least one more world title just to make everybody guess if it's going to happen for him.
That's
right?
fair.
And Owens, again, I've softened quite a bit on Kevin Owens, if I do say so my damn self. I just like the idea of Logan being a shit-stirring champion, being the guy he is. Like, I'm okay with it.
Plus, triple threats are no DQ.
Triple threats are no DQ. That's right. Which is why Aaron Rich will be refereeing that match when he goes to Phil. Oh, he's not going. Never mind. Damn him. So yeah, it's easier for him to retain in that environment. Plus, he's gonna have his branding over the ring. So yeah, they're gonna lean into that heavy.
Oh, so it really is the capitalism title. Got it.
No, but you know what though? I think it's great they did that because that shows beyond any shadow of a doubt for me as a fan that Vince is truly not involved anymore. And I say that because there is no fucking way in hell that would have gone down with him still at the helm. Because he is all about that branding.
I agree.
I give you that.
There is no way that it's been even remotely like, no, not on my ring. Damn it, Hunter's like, dude, give me the money, please.
Brand
please give me all that. Yeah, please give me all that brand recognition and sponsor money. Like, dude, like you can't fill my pockets fast enough, Mucker brother. Seriously,
you might as well let the sponsor shorts in now.
They'll just have KSI and another prime costume ringside.
And while we're on sponsors, can Dwayne Johnson not have a product line in every goddamn thing in the world? Can we not? Like, for real. He's got tequila. He's got the drink, which is still fucking bomb, by the way. He's got the skincare product now. He's running a football league. He's on the board of this company. He's going to whoop Cody Rhodes' ass in a couple weeks. Like, Jesus.
Don't forget he's got his Under Armour deal.
The Under Armour deal? Yeah, seriously. He's putting money in Versace's pocket just by walking around in them $1,000 shirts again.
In
like,
the future, some of his movies are probably it's going to be like this paper PLE brought to you by and hit one of his movies.
Right.
And before you know it,
signed on for Moana 2.
He did.
Before you know it, he'll have more branding power than Donald Trump.
Same with Alani Cravalho. Is that how you say her name? The voice of Moana is back for the sequel as well.
She is, man. The company is stoked.
I want to see The Rock. I want to see The Rock do the live action version of the boulder from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Dude, I will tell you this because I wasn't allowed to say it on air because they had to cut me off. I got Mark Henry to agree with the theory that Maui is the most Rock-like character Dwayne's ever produced. I can't prove it because we were off air when we talked about it, but Mark Henry co-signed on that theory. It's the truth.
It is the truth.
Like Maui is so the Rock. He starts out, very humble, and he's given these powers, gets way too inflated, gets brought down to earth, and then he has to redeem himself. He's the fucking Rock. Good shit. Anyway, sorry.
Never seen it.
Went away for a long time, came back. Yeah. He is the Rock.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, shit. He's Maui now. It's the circle of life, except it's not that movie. Anyway.
Yeah, I see in U.S. titles.
You need to see it with your little Ella, Noah.
You do. No, like, it took me so long to see it because of way too many damn shenanigans. But when I actually sat down and watched it, it's one of the best ones they've done. It really is. It's cute as hell.
I'll leave it to my 9-year-old niece.
Yes. And if nothing else, you need to watch the New Day and Triple H and Stephanie do lip sync battle on Jimmy Fallon because Triple H and Stephanie do How Far I'll Go. That may be the funniest thing I've ever seen on the Jimmy Fallon show. Ever.
That's fair.
Anyway,
going back to Dwayne's question, could Roman retain at Mania and Cody run at the Raw after Mania? No.
Why?
Either Cody is going to win it at Mania,
or
Cody needs to win it in the fucking Garden like I've been saying for over a year. And now all of the other podcasters are catching on to the shit I've been saying for a year and spewing it like it's their original concept.
Yep.
First of all, y'all, eat a dick. Give me the fucking credit I deserve for saying that shit a year ago.
From the back, by the way, if you can do that, that'd be great. Yeah.
And second of all, again, I go in depth into how and why it should happen. On Inside the Mind of the Renegade, which aired last week. Go check that in the Casa D18 Studios archives.
Featuring Skinny Bones Hogan.
In Stone Cold fashion, the response to that is what? Like what?
And we did receive a $5 super chat from Eddie Burton. No comment on that. Thank you very much, Eddie, for the super chat.
Eddie.
So that is going to just about wrap it up. We're going to take our final commercial.
Wow.
And then we will come back and we will hit the shills and everything.
Yes.
And we will get out of here.
Shit.
I hope Noah's paying attention because it's his favorite trailer of the night.
Woohoo!
One of all the stuff we'll be calling in the future.
Oh,
so here's what Noah will be wasting his voice on.
3, 2, 1.
wrestling, and sports entertainment.
Yeah, you could tell he's not feeling it tonight. I know you could see Jeff. Normally the TNA, the AEW stuff pops up and he's like, yeah, all right. This time you like barely saw him smile. You are muted.
Hey Jay, you remember there was like a big gap between PLEs? You remember?
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
That was cool, right? Jesus Christ.
And we still got UFC 300 with me. So
Shut
we
the fuck
got
up with that.
crazy
Hey.
shit.
And we have Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
And
We've
we
got
might have Stardom. And we might have the GCW show.
We've got no sleep. It will not be. Jesus. Oh,
Are you what? You're actually considering covering what sport?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Interesting.
Shayna Baszler.
Well, that's fair.
That's the main reason, Shayna Baszler. I mean, it's early enough during the day that Walter and James can cover it.
Good idea.
And then what we're thinking of is once that goes off the air, you doing Stardom via tape delay since you'll be working while it's live. Because we just can't do Stardom and not have Noah's voice on it. You're the one that's familiar with the product.
Yes.
Exactly.
So just do it like we did Elimination Chamber via tape delay a couple hours. That way you've got a chance to finish work, get home, get some food in your belly, and then do it.
Sounds interesting. Of course, we still need to know a card.
Well, of
I'm
course.
sure we'll get there.
I mean, considering it's April 4th and they've still got the better part of a month to fill one out.
Well, they're trying to finish their Cinderella tournament where the winner gets to challenge for any Stardom title they choose. And then I still wonder if Mai Watani is going to have the match over her IWGP Women's Championship. I know Siri's coming here to the States, being part of was it West Coast or GCW? I forget. So, there's stuff brewing. Julia might be involved, but I think she's going to go with Razi Ogawa to his promotion. So, we'll see.
There you go. Hey, we got a $5 super chat from Big Baller G. Thank you very much for that, G. 3 weeks till Mania, boys, especially Walter. Hope everyone is doing good. Cheap plug, no DQ meetup, most likely that Friday. So there you go. If you want to meet up with Big G and Walter and other members of the No DQ Galaxy or the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media that'll be in town for WrestleMania, Friday, time and place TBD. Definitely going to have to make sure that Walter and G, if they can't go live with us during that time because may be during a time when we're not streaming, at least film some video footage of everybody that shows up and send it to us so we can broadcast it on the Ring of Honor watch lawn and the Hall of Fame watch lawn and everything. So
yeah, depending on what time of day it is, I can always go live. So
popping in.
Sorry, didn't mean to talk over you. Sorry, this dog is being overly needy for attention here because she hasn't been in this house for a while. So she's like, "What the hell?" For you.
All right, let's start running through all the shills. Shout out to Josh, the Meltzer of the Multiverse, the Cleveland combatant who did pop in earlier for at least the first topic. You can follow him on Twitter at Walking Hymnal, Instagram Mallow Mangram. The man who just sent us the super chat, Big Baller G, TikTok Big Baller G 1988. Twitter, NoDQ_ Big Baller G. Instagram and Threads, NoDQ_ Big Baller G 1988. Datilla.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at @Datil_. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown. I only cover the NXT PLEs and TV specials. And for all things TNA, you can find me on Body Slam every Thursday.
There you go. hopefully we can get her at some point to watch more NXT, even if she doesn't review it. But, you know,
That.
Walter.
Yes, you can catch me on the X, or as Noah likes to say, the Tweeter. But Walter, Alex Cruz, the business Instagram, Calfire Farms, and the @Rage of Wrestling YouTube, where I'm the MMA, the MMA coverage guy. So UFC 300 is coming, so we're going to cover that, and that's pretty much it.
There you go. Arlene says, I hope my schedule allows me so that she can be on Simply Predicting. Well, we are going to potentially do 2 WrestleMania Simply Predictings, depending on how many people want to be involved in it.
Yes.
That's the other thing that may or may not be on that Thursday going into Mania. So once we know for sure if we're doing GCW, if we're doing Stardom, how many people want to be part of the prediction panel, we will better know if we're going to do 2 days of predictions. And if I or Jeff have to host predictions while Noah's doing Stardom, so be it.
Yep.
As long as he's able to host the primary one on Tuesday, you know, somebody can take over. They could be the Jay Leno to his Johnny Carson and take over while he takes a rest day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or
And
who
that
did the who filled in for Jerry Lewis during the telethons when Jerry would go memes for a while? Was it
I
Ed
was
McMahon?
usually
I think so.
sleeping during that time too. So
I was asleep at that time too. Oh,
It was Ed McMahon, if I remember right. Anyway.
yeah. It depends on also if WWE actually tells you what is on night 1 and what is on night 2, so we can separately predict night 1, night 2.
We're fair. Still going to predict the whole card at once.
Yeah.
It's just StreamYard can only hold 10 people.
Right.
So depending on how many people want to be part of predicting, you know, if Noah's hosting and it's a panel like this, well, here's already half of it.
Yep.
Then if you figure some of his other Simply Predicting regulars like Jeff Chadwick, now you got 6, Chris Rotz is 7, James is 8, Mikey and Stat Girl, that's 10 right there.
Ding ding.
And you still have Dwayne, you've got Tim Tobin, who's a regular on Noah's thing. You've got Arlene and Emmanuel that are possibilities. You've got Natalie, my daughter. You know, you've got so many people that still may want to be part of it. Big Baller G, potentially, you know.
I welcome all, and I also know that somebody that, again, the first time I think it was pressure. We didn't hold it against him. Gave him a chance in our panel. If y'all watched my Bray Wyatt tribute, he was very humble, honest, simple, and straightforward. I would be more than happy to give him another chance as well. Y'all know what I'm talking about, top media heads. So, and he has been in touch with me, nothing but respect. So we'll see. I welcome him back too, as long as, again, keep your act together, brother. And I know you're more capable of it, more than capable of it.
Emmanuel with the $2 super chat. Stop saying Roman retains, will just suffer more. It is a very real possibility that Roman will continue his reign.
When did JJ become a robot? When did JJ become a robot?
You can find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, Twitter ROWJJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18 Studios. Thank you to the people that are watching right now. You can catch me every Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, as I cover all the primary shows of these companies here. Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, NWA Power, TNA Impact. Not going to be doing the B shows anymore just because it is too damn much. So no Rampage, no Collision, no Explosion, but still the other shows.
Yes.
You know, it brings a tear to my eye that you still continue to watch TNA. If only I could return the favor, but
you can. You just choose not to.
She found a loophole in the contract.
Yeah, exactly.
A deal is a deal.
She admitted and acknowledged the fact that NXT was better than she thought it was going to be going in. She still refuses to watch it. I admitted and acknowledged that Impact was better than I thought it was going to be going in, and I still am watching it and reviewing it.
She'll believe in NXT.
And not only are we believing in TNA and watching it still, but we are encouraging you, our Multiverse of Media audience, to join Datilla in Vegas.
Yes.
Because, well, JJ and I can't. Because we got financial responsibilities. It is what it is. It has worked out where we cannot go. But if you want to sit literally right here in those two, I guess that's like a magenta color seats compared to the blues, that's where the seats will be. You will be directly across from Hardcam. You will be on TV for the entire premium event of Rebellion, for the entire episode of Impact that gets taped that night, April 20th and 21st at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas. Reach out to anybody on the top tier. We'll make it happen for you. And when you do, make sure you call the police, because we're not going to rob you for what we're charging. But make sure you call the police.
That's not Scott Steiner? That's not Scott Steiner?
Sorry,
No,
my window's
Jordan
open.
Grace. It's Jordan Grace. We're talking
that's
about
right.
TNA.
That's
right.
That's right. You hear me for Thick Mama Pump, who's the
Oh,
champion.
look, Arlene said she was going to donate more money for you to go, JJ.
I appreciate that, Arlene, but
we do.
It was just getting to the point where the rooms were getting more and more expensive.
As they do.
So the money I would need to raise was going to have to keep going up.
Yep.
And that just didn't seem fair for me to ask of you guys, the donors, because we set a goal and it was looking like it was going to have to be more than that goal.
Yep. Right.
And we were only about a quarter of the way there anyways.
And we have
if
a month.
we were, halfway there, 2/3 of the way there, maybe we would have kept the push going. But considering we are roughly a month away and we weren't even halfway yet, we were definitely living on a prayer that it was going to happen.
I was going to say.
The Bon Jovi reference.
Yes,
Damn
it
right.
was. It's one of those.
And we may have to sing that come 80s night in June.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that you have to book hotels and flights far enough in advance so you're not going to get skewered at the end of the fees.
Yeah.
And it's just it is the way of things, as we say in a galaxy far, far away. So but we seriously, if anybody is in the area or was planning to be in the area but they weren't sure about going, you can't get any closer unless you're sitting in the front row or in Joe Hendry's lap, which we can probably work that out too for you if you want to. We can probably make that happen for you guys because we got the hookup, we got the connections. But if you want to sit second row, reach out to the top tier. We will make it happen for you.
Did you say his name, Jeff?
I did, and he should appear. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, now you
I
don't
still
know it's
say-
broken because he didn't sing.
I know. I still think Noah will enroll in Chase U before I believe in Joe Hendry.
It'll be a cold day in hell before that happens.
Hey, you know what though? We got our Thea Hale back, so there is hope yet for the universe.
Damn
my
right.
God.
I almost wore my Chase U shirt tonight just to, represent for her. But getting back to the shills.
All the shills.
Tune in to Stat Boys Sports Bar every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network.
Yes.
Follow your barkeeps on Facebook, Dory Lou Hathaway or Mike Caldwell. On Twitter, Hathaway Lou or LB StatKid 1977. On Instagram, Dory Lou or Statboy13. Follow the Greg Cherry brand on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. The Greg Cherry Show returned this past week ahead of Big Business, and we'll be back every other Wednesday from here on out.
Yep.
So it'll be dark next week, but the week after it will be back.
Yes.
So make sure you tune in and give Greg the support Emmanuel says, I swear, JJ, I'm going to get Joe Hendry to sing to you for you to believe. That's not going to be what it takes. I've said for a minute that I have been finding some of the stuff Joe Hendry does to be humorous. But I cannot believe in a man who's on my TV screen once a month. They need to start featuring him more if they want me to believe in him.
That band from Diving is one of the funniest shit ever.
That was good. Poor AJ
Arlene, you are a bad Arlene. I love you. You support us. You know that we support you, and thank you. But that is a bad Arlene.
No, it's not.
She keeps wanting Thea Hale to go heel.
And don't super kick Fallon. Fallon's too pretty to kick in the teeth. No. We love us some Fallon Henley.
Make sure you follow James on the socials. Facebook, James Hebert. Twitter, J Hebertside 95. YouTube, J Hebertside 95. He had 2 of his J Hebertside things go up this week. He's got a couple more going live next week. Very cool stuff to see. There's the QR code that you can scan if you want to go to the YouTube channel and check out the videos.
Good to see
you
him
can
back.
also scan the QR code for more on the Gary Hebert documentary, 1 in a Million. You guys keep seeing the trailer here on Stat Boy Sports Bar, on our other assorted programs. It's a damn good documentary from the looks of things. I can't wait for the full-length version to be released. Should be coming soon. It's why James isn't here tonight, because he had to do a bunch of shit regarding the documentary, but he said he will be here next week.
He's a worker.
Noah.
Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you call it, and YouTube, and Foster 1916. Keep up with prediction leagues, prediction forums, prediction panels, your own post-show simple assessments. Community tab is where I try and keep you informed with the forums, snapshot, the polls, the simple hello, and shout out to BTW crew. We'll do an impromptu also during WrestleMania week, probably after Monday Night Raw, because I'm crazy. And yeah, there probably will be one, if not 2 panels based on those that reach out, those I know that want to be on it, and those here, of course, that we're talking about too. So stay tuned, as there'll probably be something every day WrestleMania week going on that week live across my YouTube channel ahead of Stand Deliver and WrestleMania. So see what's ahead. At least this week and next week, it's nothing but simple rest, because Lord knows I need it.
All the resting, all the resting, all the resting, all the resting, and sleep.
Yes. Sleep
Again.
Good. Sleep good.
If we didn't hype it enough today, go back and check out the Inside the Mind of the Renegade that I did this past week, where I discussed the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns saga, why Roman Reigns should retain at WrestleMania, how I would book it going forward, and how Hulk Hogan plays into all of it.
Just
such good fantasy booking. Definitely worth the checkout. What do we got here, Jeff?
Hold on.
It's gonna be under 250.
So I would like to thank everybody involved at the Bourbon Room and Drag the Musical. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Last night in Hollywood. Shout out to our buddy Ariel Belvalere, who invited me as her guest. That's her playing in the band on stage there. And yes, that is Joey McIntyre in a wig and a fur coat. Joey McIntyre, of course. If you're younger than, let's see, in this group, younger than Dattila, you probably don't know Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block, but that's who that is. He wasn't in Drag the Whole Show. As a matter of fact, in the upper right, he's the one in the suit. He plays literally the straight man to the title, the main character's brother. So he plays an accountant in the show, but so much fun, so out of my comfort zone. I loved every bit of it. So that was great seeing that last night. Shout out to all the friends I've got throughout the industry coming up here in the next couple of weeks. I said the LA Dolls will be at the Topanga Social here in the Topanga Candy Mall tomorrow night and on the 31st. I'll probably be at the show on the 31st because tomorrow night's going to be crazy. Our friends at We Are Wasted, who you saw at Open Mic Night a couple months ago, I think it was, will be back out here at Lucky Luke Brewing on the 21st. My buddies, the Pinktastic Plastics, will be at Last Call in Tarzana on the 24th next Sunday. And Jesse Fury and the Sound will be at the Hotel Cafe on Saturday, March 30th. So if you're not going to be with us for WrestleMania, and if you're not going to be, shame on you, first of all. Get out to the Hotel Cafe here in Southern California and check out Jesse Fury and the Sound, including my buddy Nikki Stevens and my other buddy Aurora. This is all the people. And then I also want to give a big shout real quick to LA Kings head trainer Chris Kingsley. Had his 2000th game as a head trainer in the NHL tonight in Dallas, despite the ass whooping the Dallas Stars laid on the Kings today in Dallas. That's him in the middle of the picture. The reason I chose this picture is because one of the members of his team is literally fixing my glasses, my reading glasses, on the bench at a Kings game last season, because these damn things, literally the screw came loose in my hand and I brought them down to the ice level because that's what I was told to do. And Chris took it and handed it off, and off they went. So they will fix anything in a hockey game, even a pair of glasses. So congrats, Chris. 2,000 games. That's a long damn career. 20. I don't even know how many years that is, but it's a long damn time. So congrats to Chris, old friend of the family.
They'll fix anything. They might as well have dentists on standby during hockey.
You know,
they probably do.
They probably do. I'll tell you what, man. Drew Doughty, God bless that kid. He was, just a little baby face, drafted out of Canada in 2008, and now he's got less teeth than Chris Benoit did before he kicked it. God,
damn.
I mean, like, just like his smile is like, it's like a dentist dream. Like, ooh, yeah, it's nothing gone. Blacker than this shirt.
Just a hole.
Just a big hole.
A dentist's dream is 1, hockey, 2, living in England.
Ooh. Yeah, but the food in England sucks. At least the hockey, you get like Canadian and American food. That's all right. Anyway, we're getting in the weeds and we're trying to get off the air. We're only over 3 hours. Let's do this shit.
Yeah, about to say, let's wrap this thing up. And don't worry, Big G. Have a great time there live. Prepare your voice to be hoarse. I'll be prepared to call, what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My voice will be at least 6 things that week, I think. So I'll be
Make
fine.
sure you guys take earplugs, because that Cody Rhodes pyro, that hurt.
Whoa.
I bet that popped your ears.
I'm so damn high up. Who knows if that'll affect me?
I mean,
well, there won't be any winners pyro, so
Damn.
You're lucky. I'm literally 2% cognitive right now to hear this and not rant and react. You're lucky.
We love you, Noah.
I know.
Well, we want to thank the consistently over 30 of you that have been with us the entire show. We greatly appreciate that.
That was awesome.
For Josh Mansfield, who was here earlier. For Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz. For the simple man with the spectacular voice, Noah Foster. For Datilla. For the man whose name is on the marquee, Jeff motherfucking Meacham.
Yep.
I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Open Mic Night. We will be back next week for another installment of the Saturday Night Shenanigans. And until then, we will catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night, folks.
Hasta luego.
Adios.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.